Hawks are hot, and the weather's getting hotter. Summertime in the D with Detroit's big hitters, Woodward Sports.
What up, though, Detroit? Welcome to another Woodward Tigers live stream. Oh, we got our boy back. Our very own Woodward Tigers insider, Nick Kohloff, is in studio. Welcome back, my friend.
Let's go, Anson. No better time to be talking the Detroit Tigers than right now, as they're on a 4-game heater, and we are officially back. I know Lions football's creeping back into the picture, but don't let anybody fool you. Detroit Tigers are a serious threat in the American League still, and the slump is behind them.
I knew we were getting a very positive Nick today. That's for sure.
Baby. Yeah, I'm fired up.
Tigers with an 8.5 game lead over the Guardians right now in the Central Division. And, well, as a show, we are 4-4. So we're looking to get over 500 today. It is the final game of the Twins series from Minnesota. Delayed start for most of you that saw the 2:10 start.
Yep.
We thought the same thing. They actually moved it back. They had a Hall of Fame induction into the Twins Hall of Fame for former Twins Corey Koski, a guy that won a chip with them in 1987.
Yep.
So we were caught off guard from that. Apologize for the late start. You can blame the Twinkies for that one. But we are here. We'll be covering the game play-by-play with analysis from your favorite Tigers insider. We are blessed to be joined by the lovely Haley over here in the TD booth. She'll be handling everything for us today. We're very, very happy and blessed to have her today. So we are about 10 minutes away from the first pitch. Let's get right into it. Caesar's best bet. What do you got for us, Nick?
Today's best bet, luckily for the Tigers, winning 4 games in a row, they go up against a pitcher in Thomas Hatch, who has a 5.59 ERA, and he's a righty, Anson. So you know what that spells to me? A big day for a guy like Kerry Carpenter. Kerry Bonds, 2+ bases, and Detroit Tigers money line parlayed, going for 5 wins in a row, is going to be my Caesar's best bet of the day. I think it's going to be a big day for Kerry Bonds, and I think it's going to be a big day for the Detroit Tigers bats. So if you parlay those two together, you're looking at plus 154. So to get you a little bit of juice, the Tigers are minus 130 on the money line. If you're afraid of maybe a lefty coming in late and they end up taking out Kerry Carpenter, look for that Tigers money line at minus 130. But I have faith in Kerry Bonds to get at least 2+ bases, because you know what he does? Destroys right-handed pitching with the best of them.
Well, the last time we were here, our insider hit. So I'd be listening to that advice and then headed over to Caesar's Sportsbook. If you input the code WSN1000, you can get your first bet back if it does not hit in credit there. Your base bet to $20 up to $1,000. So again, head on over to Caesar's Sportsbook and put that WSN 1000. You'll get to match your first bet if it again doesn't hit. Minimum bet of $20 or maximum of $1,000. Shout out Caesar's for that. But big game last night. Another win, like you said. This team is streaking right when it counts. Seems like they've gotten out of the funk that they were in. What are your tasks, Nick's Tigers tasks, that they need to complete today to get another W and keep this streak running?
Well, I will say this team has kind of struggled against, bad pitchers at times, where you want to see them take advantage a little bit more when they do go up against a guy with a 5+ ERA.
Sure.
And it seems like they've at times dominated this Detroit Tigers lineup. I'm looking for them to get on the board early, because when they score first, this team is extremely hard to beat, Anson. And if they have that confidence brewing, you see a guy like Riley Green able to focus a little bit more in the zone and take some of those really big home run bomb swings where he gets a hold of it. A guy like Spencer Torkelson. But if they get down, it seems like they almost start to press at times, especially kind of being like the younger guys, the guys that are asked to do so much. So to get on the board early is going to help them out tremendously. But I think the other big thing is a guy like Chris Paddack. Chris Paddack gave up 4 earned runs in 4 innings against the Minnesota Twins last time out with the Detroit Tigers. So for Chris Paddock to be able to respond after the adversity that he went through against the Minnesota Twins is going to be extremely crucial in this one for the Tigers picking up a big W. He is going to throw strikes, and that's why we brought him in here, but it's all about attacking the corner of the zone. He left a lot over the plate last time out, and that's why he got lit up against the Twins.
Yeah. I like Paddock. We've seen 3 starts from him now, or just the 2? I believe
we
3,
had
right?
3 starts.
So, and 2 of those, he's been very good. He looked like vintage rookie year Chris Paddock,
Agreed.
who was a top-notch starting pitcher at that time, really had a high ceiling. And then he just fell on bad luck and had a lot of bad years. Here he is with Chris Fetter, a guy that is known to get the best out of his arms. And sure enough, 2 out of the 3, we've seen some great stuff out of him. Looks like this game is getting close to start here, so we'll be keying in on that very, very soon here. I do want to talk about your bet, and there's been a debate going on. Do you believe that walks should be considered in bases?
Total bases? I mean, for the guy betting, for sure. I'm always for the player, not the book in that case. Obviously, they make enough money with that. But when it comes down to it, Kerry Bonds is going to get 2 bases today. I truly believe in that. That's why it is my best bet. And he was the biggest favorite to get 2 bases because the books know it. Your mother knows it. Your grandma knows it. Kerry Bonds rips right-handed pitching. Everybody knows it. All of Detroit knows this. So I'm really expecting the big day out of Kerry Carpenter. And to be honest, this team's looked like a really different team with Kerry Bonds back healthy in this lineup. He adds that punch that is so needed for this Detroit Tigers team to be successful. He's got an .838 OPS this season, but he's looked like a whole different player since coming back from the injury. He was dealing with the hamstring earlier this season. And when I spoke to him before he came up limping after sliding into third base, before that, earlier that day, he said the hamstring wasn't affecting him in his sight on the baseball. But to be honest, I don't know if I bought it because Kerry Carpenter looks like a completely different player, seeing the baseball way better, way more confident up there. And you can tell he's confident in his running ability now, the way he's able to steal extra bases. So stretching a single to a double to a triple, you're seeing Kerry Bonds really showing off that speed, and he's showing it off in the outfield as well. So Kerry Carpenter is a guy that I like a lot in this one, and I think when you see him go up against inferior pitching, like a guy with a +5 ERA, your big boys need a hit, and that's exactly what he's going to do today, Anson.
No doubt about it. You know, one of the things that you mentioned early on was the fact that these guys have been more patient. You also mentioned that this team looks incredibly different when they start a game off with the lead. When we kick this thing off, this is our 5th week in studio during the Tigers live streams, but when we started this thing off, those first 2 games were brutal. They were taking bad swings. They weren't patient. You saw opposing pitching getting through the first 5-6 innings with low pitch counts. Over the last couple of weeks, we've seen that change. The batters and the offense for the Tigers have been a lot more patient, been taking more pitches, swinging at less bad stuff outside of the zone. And it seems like, especially Riley Green, when that calm is established by the Tigers offense, that patience, getting those pitchers to work, getting them high up into their pitch count, it seems to settle Riley Green down. He stops looking at that outside stuff, and he starts taking pitches a little bit more. And I think that he's that microcosm of the entire offense. If Riley Green is being patient, you know the rest of the lineup is.
Oh, for sure. And I think a guy that starts it off above Riley Green in the lineup, which Tigers fans love to hate on this guy, and I have no idea why. It makes me so upset when Tigers fans hate on Gleyber Torres. The way that this guy sets the table for the rest of the lineup, and they want to ship him out of town because he didn't hustle on one play out of 162. Get him out of town. Starting all-star second baseman Gleyber Torres, who was top 10 in on-base percentage for 90% of the season before his slump.
Yep.
That's the guy you want to ship out of town? I don't get it at all. Yes, they have a deep prospect pool, and I know we're going to get into the prospects, which I'm fired up about because we have some of the best in baseball. That doesn't mean you just let an all-star second baseman walk who sets the table and, like you said, really draws the at-bat. That's what happens with Gleyber Torres. He sees 6 pitches every bat, 7 pitches, fouls tough pitches off, and he allows the guys behind him to then know what's coming and do damage to the baseball. I think the fact that Tigers fans hate on Gleyber Torres is astounding.
He's truly the example. He sets the example for the offense. Even when the majority of the offense is taking bad swings, he goes out there and kind of resets stuff. So at this point, though, Thomas Hatch stepping up to the rubber. Colt Keith going to be leading things off. We appreciate the super chats. We're going to get to those in a moment. Everybody in the chat, we appreciate you for joining us. We are just moments away from the first pitch, so please smash that like button. Continue those super chats. And here we are, first pitch for a called strike over the heart of the plate. 93-mile-per-hour fastball. Colt Keith takes.
Love to see Colt in that one spot going up against righties. I think he's really stepped his game up the last couple months, and if it wasn't for the slow start, which he notoriously has now in his first 2 seasons as a Detroit Tiger, you're talking about a guy with an OPS that would be over 800. And that is a guy that you do want in your lineup every single day, but more importantly against the righties to set the tone. I think he's been able to do that.
Fouled off the second pitch, and the third one is in the dirt, a good 6 feet ahead of home plate. Bounced up and off of the catcher there, so he's behind in the count 1-2. But yes, I love Colt in the leadoff spot. We saw him there on Sunday after we lost on Saturday. He definitely set the table well. Pitch number 4 on the way, and it smacked right back to the pitcher for an easy out, number 1. Colt Keith, again, really love seeing him at the top there of the order. Wasn't able to get things started off the way that they wanted to, but we'll break down the Tigers lineup here. Kerry Bonds, Carpenter hitting second, Torkelson third, Green in the cleanup spot, Wenzel hitting 5, Javi at 6, Z-Mac hitting 7, Trey Sweeney at number 8, and at the end of the order is Jake Rogers, as we see a first pitch cutter on the inside. Looked like a ball, but that's a called strike. Hopefully we don't deal with a lot of that today. We'll get a second pitch here. Hatch operating quite quickly. That one outside, and his check swing, appeal to third. He's down 0-2 in the count early.
Yeah, the pace of Hatch right now is, he's working with a purpose today. I think that's probably going to be a key for him if obviously the start is anything to say about it. But Kerry, my guy, down 1-2 early. We'll see how this goes, but Kerry's the guy that I have faith in to get on.
This one, another low one, slider just off the plate there for a first ball. Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes here. Hatch, as Nick mentioned, really working at a quick pace here. Tigers looking to get something nice to hit so far. Haven't seen much of it. Hatch wearing that big 56 for the Twins. Launches another one low for ball 2. Evens things up.
Yup, Kerry in a spot where he can do some work here. Obviously, he laid off those balls low, which I love to see, but you got to watch out for the fastball high. He's susceptible to that high fastball.
Hinch looks on from the dugout. And a 5th pitch for a ball. Full count here. Missed it low inside.
Yep, I got to pause mine up a little bit here, Anson. I was get synced with you, letting people in on some insider information. But shout out you guys, because this isn't possible without the chat. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Super chats more than welcome. Detroit Tigers looking for their 5th win in a row. I'm the beat reporter for the network, Nicholas Kohloff. We got Anson and we have Haley on TD today. Thrilled to be with you guys.
And Hatch puts a wicked one inside and gets Carpenter swinging on that one for out number 2. And strikeout number 1 for Hatch, and he's already dealing to Torkelson. That one well outside, an 82-mile-per-hour sweeper for ball 1. Torkelson been pretty strong as of late, hitting .244 in the year, 26 home runs, second on the team behind Riley Green as he cranks a shot just fouled on the left side.
Yeah, Twerk's been really stepping it up lately. I mean, you can see he's on that pitch right there. Obviously, it was foul ball, but you could see he's confident right now in his swing. And when you got a confident Spencer Torkelson, it means a confident Tigers lineup. When you talk about a Riley Green, talk about a Kerry Carpenter, the heavy hitters got to do heavy hitting, and Spencer Torkelson has been doing that, and that's why you see us on a 4-game heater.
High pitch inside, tough one to lay off, but Torkelson does. Could have been called a strike, but he earns ball number 2, count up to 2 balls and 1 strike. Torkelson facing Hatch there with a cutter, gets him looking, evens things up 2 balls, 2 strikes.
2 balls, 2 strikes. I mean, Hatch is looking good early. Mr. 5+ ERA. Yeah, don't love these 2-strike counts early for these Tiger hitters, because that's when you got to battle, and you know you're not going to be taking that heavy hitter swing like I just talked about.
Hatch has had his location on point thus far. That one's a nasty sinker. Started outside, came in. Torque watches that in for ball 3. Strikeout 2, and as you mentioned, Hatch gets in and out quickly. Efficient 15 pitches. We will see Byron Buxton, who's actually healthy this year and has been a hell of a bat for the Twinkies this year. He'll start things off. But let's go to last night's game and break things down a little bit. Looking at the box score here as I pull it up. Interesting game. Tigers started the scoring off again, as you mentioned. Once they get off cooking, they set the table like that, and the rest of the team seems to respond. Added another insurance run in the 3rd, but then the Twins came back in the bottom of the 5th with 3 runs. Tell us a little bit about what happened there.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was Casey Mize strikeouts. Honestly, I'm going to go on the positive side of things. We've seen Casey give up runs this season, but to me, for him to be successful in the playoffs is going to be that K rate when you're going up against the Seattle Mariners, when you're going up against the Astros. Like, we'll hit on it later in some of these playoff scenarios for the Tigers. But the K rate is the biggest thing. But more importantly, out of yesterday, it's about that shut down bullpen. They had faith to go to Tyler Holton, and then your nails in the back with a guy like Vest and Finnegan. And that's what you were able to rely upon last night. And that's what I loved about the 8-5 win of last night, because Holton, Vest, and Finnegan all put up zeros.
Yeah, Casey Mize was pretty darn good up until he gave those 3 up in the 5th inning. He went 6.1, only 4 hits, but 4 earned runs came in on those 4 hits. Did have 10 Ks, awesome outing for him. Tigers end up getting the game tied up in the 6th, 3 more in the 7th, and then those 2 in the 9th. When the game was at 6-5, those 2 in the 9th were the difference. They win 8-5 as you see Chris Paddock uncork pitch number 1 here in the bottom of the first pitch is taken for a ride out into left field by Buxton for an easy single to start things off. Not what you want to see.
Yep. A guy like Byron Buxton, I mean, you're talking about a guy that can steal a base too. So you got to be careful. Pressure on early. Definitely not what you want to see out of the Tigers, but a guy last night that did some work after this pitch here, Anson.
Yeah, that fastball there looked like it was going to go low, and it just kind of rose up and greeted Buxton's bat there. As a dynasty owner of both Buxton and Keishel, I'm not heartbroken, but I don't want to see anything more, especially from Trevor Larnach, who's basically a failed top-level prospect at this point. Trevor has not panned out, but he'll get an opportunity. Second pitch here, he fouls off, falls behind the count 0-2.
Got to see a guy last night that came up from Toledo. Shout out Trey Sweeney. 3 runs last night. Big time for the 9-hitter. And shout out, I believe it's Burns, side last 5-3, 3-9. Keep Trey Sweeney on the roster. Don't know why, but our offense improves with him around. Also, Brewers feel like they are set up to get smoked in the NLDS. Shout out you for the super chat.
There you go.
And, I mean, Brewers stomping crew right now.
Matt Vierling taken out of the game last Saturday and was frustrated, kind of a reversal of what happened with him subbing in for Kerry Carpenter a couple nights beforehand. Obviously, Trey Sweeney came up that Sunday and played a big part in that win last Sunday. You were here with us for that, and the Tigers Woodward live stream here is Larnach takes a ball, getting the count up to 1 ball, 2 strikes here for Paddock. Paddock Little worried about Buxton at first as he breathes into that baby blue glove that he's got. Fourth pitch on the way, he gets him swinging. Larnach goes down, strikeout.
Let's go. Love to see it from Chris Paddock, the changeup, first K of the day. Love to see it, especially with a guy like Buxton on first, to be able to get that first out, open yourself up, to be able to get a double play and get out of this inning with a pitch count under 10 could be clutch.
Luke Keishel, a very concerning guy, rookie, a guy with contact skills on par with a Jacob Wilson. He's been fantastic since he's come back from injury a couple of weeks ago. Takes an inside sinker for strike one.
Yeah, you got to watch out for that sinker for sure for Paddock. If he can keep that pitch down, he's going to have a lot of success, and he's going to have a lot of success. Little pickoff attempt there. He's going to have a lot of success getting ground balls on that one.
Yeah, Paddock facing off against his former team. Is this his third matchup against his former team? All three?
His second start.
Okay.
Against the Twins.
Twins rocked him the first time they saw him. A little bit of familiarity, that's for sure. As we look at the young Keishel hitting .349 on the season. This one inside, smacked over with a chance for a double play. Buxton takes a second. Going to be interesting to see how they call that. Buxton will take second there. Tigers had a chance, it looked like, for a tag. He just stopped right in the middle of the baseline. I got to say, that's great base running from Byron Buxton. He just stops and forces the throw to first to get Keishel.
It's the earliest thing that you learn in baseball. You go get the lead runner out. I don't know what Zach McKinstry was thinking there. That was a complete, just a fielding error by Zach McKinstry. You let the guy get into scoring position there. That was not a great moment for the Fire Up Chips crowd for Zach McKinstry. I don't know what happened with that one, to be honest, Anson.
Not sure either.
That was a boneheaded decision from Zach.
Indeed it was. And
which he's getting a start at second base here. Maybe he's not, used to playing the position.
Yep. Cody, don't call me Roger Clemens at the plate here, hitting cleanup for the Twins, only hitting .215 on the season. Paddock, the 0-1 pitch on its way, blows the 94-mile-per-hour fastball past him. Cody falls behind in the count 0-2. Would be nice to see them strand Buxton at second, Nick.
Yeah, for sure would be. 0-2 count. Chris Paddock. I'm feeling good about this matchup. Cody Clemens, he does not scare me. We've seen Cody Clemens a lot, obviously, when he was a Detroit Tiger. But, yeah, I'm not too worried about Cody Clemens. But as soon as I say that, we'll see what happens.
Multicolored bat of Cody Clemens there going up against the Smurf blue mitt of Paddock. The 1-2 pitch on its way, and he's going to pop him up. Looks like this one will be easily handled in left field. And the Twins are finished in the first inning in the books. One hit for the Twins, no hits for the Tigers, with a 0-0 score. End of the first. Let's take a look at the standings and where this team sits. Tigers, as we mentioned, with that nice 8.5 game lead.
Let's go.
7 of 3 in their last 10 games versus the Guardians 6 and 4 in their last 10. But the big difference is the 4-game winning streak compared to the Guardians' 2-game losing streak. The Guardians were absolutely scorching for weeks post All-Star game. The Royals and the Twins were in the mix. Both teams were less than 10 games behind the Tigers. Twins, having lost their last 3 and 6 in their last 10. Twins now 15 games back. The Royals 10 games back. Still within, still with a puncher's chance. But at this point, 8.5 games for the Cleveland Guardians, despite the 2, maybe 3 meetings that they have. I think they have 2 series left or 3.
I believe it's 2, but we can double check that just to make sure. But
just 3-game series each, correct?
The Guardians do not scare me at all, Anson.
Okay.
They truly do not. Their team has been dealing with betting bullpen issues in a guy like Emmanuel Clase.
Yep.
This team does not have the firepower like the Detroit Tigers have. Obviously they have J-Ram and Jose Ramirez being one of the best players in the MLB, and Steven Kwan. But besides those 2 guys, Anson, really what scares you about that team? Not a whole lot. I'm not worried about the Guardians. they can do their crazy seance and dark magic, whatever they're doing to keep on making these winning streaks happen, but it's not going to be a lot. The Tigers already went through their slump. The Tigers are officially back, and they got through it, and they still got an 8.5-game lead. Anson.
Speaking of voodoo and black magic, it is very bad to steal Joe Boo's rum. But no, I am not afraid of anything on that squad, especially without Class A. Definitely not afraid of their mascot as we watch Riley Green rip a first pitch foul down the right field line. And Bat Boy had a little trouble with that one as it skirtles out into right field.
Yeah, he's no, what was his name, Frankie Boyd?
Shout out Frankie Boyd. Our very own Tigers ball boy that got a trip to the All-Star game a month ago.
Exactly. I think after this, I think the big thing with the standings, Anson, I'm not looking really at the Central much at all. The big thing is that we are 3 games ahead of the Houston Astros, holding on to that number 2 spot in the American League where they get a first-round bye.
Yeah, and we'll get into that in the middle of this inning. We'll show you what the playoff picture is exactly looking like as you watch Riley Green take a big swing at a changeup for a miss and strike 2. Count up to 1 ball, 2 strikes. This is where you talk about Riley Green. You want to see some patience from him. Hatch, this one looked like he hit him on the top of the foot, but that pitch just somehow danced in between Riley Green's feet there for ball 2, evening that count up. We are live from Minnesota, top of the second, no runs on the board, 2-2 pitch on its way, high and outside, full count.
Love to see it from Riley Green. We just talked about this. If Riley Green's drawing long at-bats, you know your team's in a really good spot right now.
No doubt, no doubt. We haven't seen Glaber yet. This one over the heart of the plate as he takes a stab at it, sends that one foul as well. Tigers lineup today, after Green, you'll see Wenzel Perez, and there is no Glaber Day in the lineup today, so we'll be missing that patient bat, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see him a little later on in this game, Nick.
That was a phenomenal at-bat from Riley Green there, Anson. That was special to see him draw the walk there. That's
no doubt.
Literally, you teed it up before the show. You couldn't have said it better. The way that he's been able to have these at-bats, Riley Green getting on base, that might have been his best at-bat of the season.
Hey, you love to see that guy walk. You love to see him hit the big dongs, pause, but I'll take the walk as well as we get a shot there at Target Field. First pitch to Wenzel Perez, a high fastball that he fouls back.
How impressed have you been with Wenzel Perez since he's gotten back with the Tigers healthy? I think he was, he was missed pretty damn well when he was not in the lineup early in the season due to injury, but it seems like he's really added a good spark.
Yeah, I'm never going to be a Senzel Fielder guy, a Riley Green guy. I like the unsung heroes. It was Holton last season for me as we watch Perez smack one up the middle there. That's going to push Green to second. Tigers with runners on first and second with no outs. I have to say, Wenzel Perez, after he had that big 7th inning about 6-7 weeks ago, I love me some Wenzel Perez.
Great bat-to-ball skills in the zone. You just see it right there. Perfect place of hitting. You go where the ball is. You don't try to do too much. He goes with the ball up the middle there.
Yeah.
One thing I would have liked to see there, Riley Green going first to third. This team is built on that, and I think that is a guy on a ball up the middle that you do run on.
That was a little shallow. The center fielder was able to charge that one. No, smack down the left there. Might be a double play ball as they turn it to first. Easy 2 outs. Tigers do get Green over to third base, so still with an opportunity to put a run on the board with 2 outs. You got excited for a second there.
I'm trying not to crash out right now, Anson. What the hell are we doing? Hey, Javi Town. Nice double play. We get back-to-back guys on base, and we just double play. Yeah. This is a big spot where we've been able to come up with a clutch hit. I think back to the other night when Dylan Dingler did. Let's see if Zach McKinstry can make up for his error.
Yeah.
Or his fielding mishap, which was not called an error because it was a fielder choice.
Javi took that like a rocket to third base where Royce Lewis was able to get it and handle that and turn the double play, but not a bad piece of hitting, just a little too low for what we would like to see. And Z-Mac here facing the 1-0 pitch. This one high. He takes a second ball there. Love the start for Z-Mac. He's hitting .260 on the season. Hatch about to uncork his 28th pitch as he works with 2 outs here in the top of the second. With Riley Green threatening, sitting on third base now. This one right over the plate for a called strike one.
I gotta say that Javi Baez double play kind of just Zach McKinstry's really got to pick him up here. There's no other way around it. You got to get the lead early.
Well, I'd love to see Zach McKinstry make up for that fielding error that we saw. Not necessarily scored as an error, but it certainly was some little league stuff, not getting that runner at second and choosing the force at first. He's got a 3-1 count here, as we'll see Hatch let go of his 30th pitch, averaging just 15 through each inning at a great pace thus far. 3-1 pitch on its way inside. Tried to frame that one as a strike, but the ball is what it is. That's a walk. Runners on the corners for the Tigers. They still got hope.
I got to say, Anson, he didn't look like he wanted much of that lefty-righty matchup with Zach McKinstry. Is it excuse me, I don't have the lineup up because I have the game. Is it Raj here stepping to the plate? Or we got...
This is going to be Sweeney.
Trey Sweeney. All right,
stepping up.
I mean, talk about the hot start last night.
He's
3
been
runs.
clutch,
This
man.
is a big spot.
They've been very, very clutch since the call up back from Toledo last Sunday. He'll have an opportunity to play hero again today as he takes an inside fastball for ball one.
Yeah, the numbers are not eye-popping by any means with a 572 OPS. He has definitely gone through his ups and downs this season. I don't think he's the shortstop of the future, but can he help this team make a deep run this year? It's quite possible.
Yeah, a timely hit would go a long way right now. This one inside the gun. Oh, he lets him steal second there. Z-Mac with a unchallenged stolen base. Tigers with runners on second and third. 2 outs, though. We'll see if Hatch can get out of this inning or if our Tigers bats can bring him home.
In a 2-0 count here, look for him to do damage to the baseball. Trey Sweeney, maybe put one out to right field.
I love the sound of that. We'll see what Hatch dials up here. Inside cutter there, way off the plate for ball 3. No strikes. You give him the green light. You giving Sweeney the green light on the 3-0 pitch?
Hell no.
There you go.
No, not at all.
You heard it there from
you?
manager Kohloff. No, I'd like to see them continue the patience. And someone's ahead of me, and he smacks one. This one got caught up on the inside low part of the bat there. Would have loved to have seen him take that. Would have been a ball 4 and low to the bases. But the Tigers are done at the top of the second here to get their first hit of the game. This one is tied still at 0-0. But you talked about the playoff scenarios. Let me bring them up here and talk you guys through them here.
While you pull it up, Anson, I got to say, they gave him the green light 3-0. This guy's hitting 572 OPS. He swung at ball 4. You don't give a guy like that the green light.
No.
That is not Riley Green at the plate. That is not Kerry Carpenter. That is not Spencer Torkelson. That is your 8-hitter who is a 572 OPS. I think that was a bad call from the Detroit Tigers and a bad call from Trey Sweeney. Honestly, I thought he got it at first, but he obviously didn't. But
Yeah,
I just
zero arguments for me on that one, my friend.
I disagree with that call.
They
Wholeheartedly.
I mean, it was, 2 walks that we got on with, correct? There was 1 base hit, 2 walks.
1 base
Looking
hit.
for a third walk there to
Yeah.
load the bases. You got to do that. Obviously, Jake Rogers not the guy that you're hoping to have at the plate for a loaded base situation. But
Do you believe that's why he got the green light?
I'm a little mystified on that one. It almost feels like he just saw a pitch he liked. So, but
Yeah.
let's hop into the playoff scenarios here. Toronto Blue Jays continue to lead the American League, 73-51. They have a half-game lead on the Tigers right now. And again, as Nick mentioned, the Tigers with a 2.5-game lead over the Astros. Onto the wild card, you see the Red Sox sitting pretty with that first spot there, tied up with the Mariners. And then the Yankees in there, a game and a half back with a solid 2.5-game lead on the Tribe, a.k.a. the Guardians. Then after that, Royals, Rays, and Rangers all within 5.5 games or less of that last wild card spot.
Yep. I think the big one that stands out here, if you're thinking about if the Tigers are able to get a first-round bye, you want to avoid the Seattle Mariners.
Yeah, no doubt about
That team
it.
is on a heater right now, and they're 7-3 in their last 10. They just lost 1, but everybody knows the upgrades that the Mariners made. Eugenio Suarez, Josh Naylor. They were able to add, really good hitting to go along with MVP candidate Cal Raleigh. And then you got Julio Rodriguez, who is really coming into his own after an off year last season.
He took his self-demotion from the All-Star game very seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Self-demotion?
Yeah, he took himself out because he felt that he didn't deserve it. He took himself out of the game, and since then he has been on fire.
Yup, yeah.
So Ryan Jeffers here, the catcher, he's going to take another ball there. The count goes to 2-1 as we're into the bottom of the second here. Paddock with his 15th pitch about to be on the way. The 2-1 pitch to the catcher here right over the plate. This one smacked out into center field. Should be handled easily, and it is by Javi.
As you see Javier Baez there in center field, we talked about Trey Sweeney at shortstop, Zach McKinstry at second base. A guy like Zach McKinstry needs to pick it up in terms of the bat. This team didn't add at the deadline. They thought a guy like Javi and a guy like Zach McKinstry were going to be able to keep it up. Those were two all-stars for the Detroit Tigers. So
strike one there for Paddock.
We'll see how this team chooses to go forward with the shortstop position, because I do like Javi in center.
Wallner with a shot to the first baseman, easily handled for out number 2.
Love to see it from Torkelson. Good defense there. But there's a guy that we're going to hit on later that is electric down in the minor league system for the Detroit Tigers.
Had a good weekend so far.
I might be making a bold statement when we get to Kevin McGonigal. I will say that the number 2 prospect in all of
he'll
baseball.
be on that 40-man roster, my friend.
He should be.
No doubt about it.
Or would you rather have Kevin McGonigal up or Trey Sweeney swinging 3-0 right there?
I think we'll be seeing McGonigal. I think that they'd love to not start his clock, but this team is on a World Series run, and you can't afford to not have that bat in your lineup as we see young Royce Lewis step to the plate, a guy who has shown glimpses of superstardom, but he's regressed quite a bit this year, only hitting .225. First pitch to him is outside. Tough one to lay off, but that's a called ball, 1-0.
Yep, 1-0 there. Love to see Chris Paddock, though, working quick, 18 pitches, 2 outs already in the bottom of the second. This team kind of let him down right there in the top half of the inning. Would love to see the 0 after that, so you hold momentum down. Yeah,
cutter in the dirt there for ball 2. Those pink and blue and yellow bats, I just don't know, bro.
Yeah, I'm not. What are they calling it? Players Weekend. This I don't know what's
They're
up
just
with
having
this
fun.
bat.
This one smacked. This one might be trouble, and it's gone. Royce Lewis with an absolute rope into the third row of left field, gets the scoring going. First run of the game belongs to the Twins at Target Field. They go up 1-0 here with that was an absolute rope.
That was a missile to left field off of the bat of Royce Lewis. And we've seen Royce Lewis battle injuries, but when he has been healthy, he's been pretty damn good.
Yes, sir.
It's exactly what you didn't want to see.
Yeah, reminds me of a young Byron Buxton, to be quite honest with you.
Really?
Well, not so much in all of their assets on the field, but just what you saw out of them, and then unable to stay healthy. And that same jersey helps.
Okay, yeah, I dig that part of it. Yeah, I think he's got a bright future if he can stay healthy, but obviously you don't want to see it. And the Tigers' inability to come up with guys on base and to leave guys in scoring position and not score any runs comes back to absolutely bite them in the tail end there, Anson.
No doubt.
Because the Tigers are looking at themselves down 1-0 early. Chris Paddock's on the mound. We talked about the early lead for the Tigers, and obviously not out to 1 today.
Brooks Lee takes a low changeup that's somehow called a strike. Fortunate for Paddock there. That draws the count to 2-1. Brooks Lee, an interesting case. We talked about Kumar Rocker when we first started things off. Brooks Lee, another guy that re-entered the draft after being selected once already. Takes a big cut at a fastball there, evening things up at 2-2. Lee hitting .244 on the season. This is a guy that I like his future, hitting .257 against the Tigers, so a little bit better against our Detroit team here as he takes a low curve. That'll even drive the count to a full 3-2 here. Lee hoping to keep this inning alive for the Twins that saw them get that home run in the first run of the game. Pitch number 26, the 3-2 pitch is fouled away.
Yeah, Brooks Lee, a former top prospect. He was the number 18th prospect back in 2024, and this is what it's all about. He's got an OPS sub 700. So we do talk about prospects in the bright future, but not all of them come out of the gate hot.
No doubt. A little bit of a strikeout guy. We'll see if we can get him swinging here. He does get him swinging, but he's able to get a piece of it and foul behind the catcher.
Yeah, like I was alluding to, it's just you never truly know with the prospects. You think you had the best of the best. I do have faith in our top guy, Kevin McGonigal.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong.
Looks
That's not where I'm going
really
with
impressive.
it. But it's some of those maybe not as top-tier guys that people were talking about possibly moving off to really upgrade this team.
Another foul off from Brooks Lee there. You wouldn't be alluding to a Ferran Lorenzo, would you? That type of guy that could have been moved
a
at the
guy
deadline?
that plays catcher when you already have a better prospect
have
rank
three
ahead of him.
excellent
and
catches.
then Dylan Ding Dong Dingler.
Edward Valencia is a hell of a prospect too. Like we
I
got
love
depth
Dylan
at catcher.
Dingler. I think Dylan Dingler is going to be a future all-star, Anson. I think you could have moved off a guy like Lorenzo, and I honestly, you might see it this offseason.
Yeah, and you don't like to see that ball four there from Paddock, as Brooks Lee will get the freebie to first base. James Outman, I believe he started with the Dodgers. This is a guy that had a quick start when he came up, but then got figured out quick. He's hitting only .073 on the season. This is the out you need for Paddock to end the inning as he gets a first strike changeup by him.
That was a beautiful changeup there by Paddock. Like hitter Outman was sitting fastball there, no doubt, and he just fooled him completely with a whiff on that one.
Outman, hitting .093 on the season, not .073. Not much of a difference as we see a high fastball taken for ball one, even in the count.
1-1 here. You got to get out of this inning with just one run.
No doubt.
There's no doubt about that. And then try to get back on track with your bats. And this team needs to pick up their pitcher right now that's going up against his former team. You know he wants to bounce back after his last start against the Twins.
Yeah, Paddock has looked pretty solid today as he gets this one for an infield fly ball, and that will be handled. The inning is done, but not before a little bit of damage. Royce Lewis with that absolute rocket ship to left field. You watched Riley Green dancing, didn't know what to do with it, thought he had a play, thought maybe he would have to make a jumping play, and then just realized that thing was history.
Exactly. I mean, that was a just laser to left field. There's no other way around it. He wasn't going to rob that baseball. That was one of the quickest home runs I've seen hit out of the park this season. Just the way that exit velo on the bat and that launch angle.
No launch angle.
Straight.
It looked like a
dart.
Mateen Cleaves 3-ball.
Yeah, that
just
was
dead straight on it.
Love that comp there.
Yeah, let's take a look. It is a pretty good one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was good.
Let's take a look at this upcoming schedule for the Tigers here as we finish up the second inning. Tigers obviously in Minnesota today, but they return home tomorrow for a 3-game set with those Houston Astros, who sit third in the AL standings and atop of their division. Then 3 more games after a very, very hard-earned day off. 13 games in a row will have been played after Wednesday, and then Thursday they get a day off. Stay at home for 3 games, a weekend set against the Kansas City Royals. We talked about their position in the Central Division. And then they kick off the week following, August 25th, Monday. They head out to the small stadium in Sacramento, manned by the lowly, call them the old Oakland Athletics, the Sacramento Athletics, the soon-to-be Las Vegas Athletics. Tigers going to be a tough trip, or tough homestand against Houston, but I love the opportunity with 6 games against Kansas City and the Athletics.
Yeah, to me, this is the unofficial matchup for the second game on Tuesday. It's Tarek Skubal versus Hunter Brown. Talk about a preview of a playoff scenario. You're going to truly see it at Comerica Park on Tuesday when Skubal goes up again against Hunter Brown. He's one of the best pitchers in the league. Guess what you get followed up with? Framber Valdez on Wednesday. So you're going to have to deal with 2 of the best pitchers in the American League, and I think it's going to be a great test for this Detroit Tigers team.
Yeah.
On Monday, to get the Tigers started, is Jack Flaherty. Can we get good Jack back? Because Jack had a sub-3 ERA last season as a Detroit Tiger. We have seen that so far and in between, or so far and few in between for the Detroit Tigers this season. It's been brutal. It has been a bad signing from the Detroit Tigers. I thought we were going to get the Jack Flaherty that looked like a top 10 pitcher in the American League all of last season with the Detroit Tigers. We have not seen that yet this season. Need to get Jack going. And I got to say, Detroit Tigers rolling. If they're going to roll, Jack Flaherty is going to be a big part of it.
Jake Rogers here starting off the top of the third. Fouled one that seemed playable for the catcher, but Jeffers was not able to track that one down, so he stays alive. Fourth pitch, 2-1 count pitch is inside. He gets ahead of him, 3-1. You love the patience of Jake Rogers.
Love to see it from your catcher. Obviously, he's not known for his bat. He's known for his leadership and behind the plate. So would love to see him kind of get this offense going.
No doubt, as he fouls another one away. Rogers, not a great hitter, hitting only 180 this year, but a hell of a veteran presence on this team. And he's almost always patient at the plate.
Yeah, Rogers, 3-2 count here. This would be a big spot to get some momentum for this game. If your 9-hitter Rogers can draw a walk, that'd be a big time come up. Rogers
swings on a high cutter that would have been a strike. 3-2 pitch gets him down on a swinging strike. Hatch has been pretty good today.
Little concerning there, Anson. This +5 ERA is not looking like it today, as the Detroit Tigers have looked tough up there at the plate at times. Obviously, he had the 2 walks. Riley Green and Wenzel were able to get on, but the Javi double play kind of killed the momentum in that one to go along with the Trey Sweeney.
First pitch is a strike to Colt Keith as we start back through the top of the Tigers order. Only 1 hit through that first time through the order. Got to see a little more from the offense here. Tough one to lay off there for Colt Keith. Great eye, though, as that's a called ball, evening things up at 1-1 here. Colt Keith ground out in the first. 3 for 13 in the series thus far. Next pitch inside, it takes it for a ball.
Yep, good patience there by Colt Keith, and I do like him as a spot for a guy in that one spot that can do damage to the baseball. We've seen him do it a lot recently. Obviously 3 for his last 13, a little stretch here where it's not happened, but he could do damage here.
Outside cutter for a ball 3 there. Keith looking very patient.
3-1. I mean, this is a guy where I would have give him the green light if it was that 3-0 count like Sweeney had.
Yeah.
3-1.
Oh, sure.
I'm expecting him to try to go.
Oh, and he got the green light on this one. This one smashed to deep right off the top of the fence. High bounce. He'll head into second. Might go for third. We'll see. But they're going to hold him up at second. The buzz saw comes out.
Let's go,
there
baby.
Go,
right
baby.
When I was calling it. Buzz saw, bone saw.
Bonesaw.
Keith,
thank you.
double, getting the Tigers going.
Give me some.
I cannot believe that wasn't a home run. It looks like he absolutely crushed that baseball, but love to see this for Colt Keith.
The top of the fence is in play, just above that green fence into the darker wall. Is that a home run in target field?
I gotta say, I don't want to bull crap you here, so I don't truly know. I think
that might have still been in play off the wall there.
Yeah, I think it would have been.
And they probably, maybe not. I don't know. I think that one was just saved, probably very close to a home run there. As you see, Carp take pitch number 1 low and outside, just clipped the zone for strike 1.
This is the big spot where Carpenter needs to step up for this Detroit Tigers team. You're going up against a right-hander with a very bad ERA. You got Colt Keith on second base. Pick up your starter.
Yeah. Your boy Carp here looking to first half of that bet. As we told you before the game, our Tigers Insider likes this guy, Kerry Carpenter, for 2 bases today, as well as the Tigers on the money line. So head on over to Caesars Sportsbook if you want to get one of those bets in. Make sure you use that promo code WSN1000 so you can get your first bet back if it doesn't cash. 0-2 pitch from Hatch on its way. Low, smacked out to right field. This is going to be trouble for the Twins. Turning for home is Keith. The throw will not even be made. Tigers quickly tie this one up, Nick.
That is 1 base right there for Kerry Carpenter, 1 more incoming, but more importantly, the Detroit Tigers are on the board, and that's exactly what you want to see. You get your lefties going up against the righty there. Colt Keith bonesaw double, and Kerry Carpenter to hit him in. Let's see if the Detroit Tigers can keep this one rolling. Great piece of two-strike hitting from Kerry Carpenter.
And I do love cueing the folks at home in on the bone saw. If you don't know, it's from Spider-Man. Macho Man Randy Savage played a character called the Bone Saw wrestling against Spider-Man, as we see Torkelson foul off a cutter out of play there for strike one.
Didn't look like a healthy swing there from Torque. I don't really like that one. I want to see Torkelson kind of stay in the zone there. He looked like he was kind of getting away, a little, little impatient there.
He had the mental green light going on that one.
Exactly. Kerry Carpenter, big smile at first base. He's feeling good. The Tigers are feeling good. I'm feeling good. Let's
Nick's
go.
feeling good for sure.
Hopefully
you guys are at home. We appreciate everybody in the chat. Smash that like button. Get your super chats in, and we will read them. Hatch with his 50th pitch. That one's well outside for ball one. Hatch, who was cruising early. Tigers starting to chip away, drive that pitch count up. They've got a man on first. They just drew even in the game, getting their first run over. 1-1 pitch from Hatch to Torkelson. Takes it inside for ball two. Love the patience.
Inside ball two. Torkelson, he's got to come to you, Torque. So wait on this. Remember that home run from the Twins? How fast it got out of here?
The frozen rope from Royce.
Would love to see one here from Spencer Torkelson.
Hey, man. Launch angle or not, I'll take one for sure. This one's low and in the dirt for ball three. Torkelson looking very patient after that bad swing on pitch one, but he's definitely settled down in this at-bat.
Yeah, big spot here from Torque Olson, and 52 pitches from Hatch. I love Torque in the three spot here. Big confidence from AJ to give him that three hole.
Hatch starting to look a little unraveled. Torkelson hoping to take advantage. High inside sinker for ball four. Tigers put two on. You see there the Carp. Detroit Tigers.
That is crispy.
You like that? The Meadows.
Yeah.
The Parker Meadows designed jersey on August 23rd, and we are going to take a quick pause here for
We're saying the FanDuel.
Oh,
yeah.
I got you.
Yep.
FanDuel.
My bad.
Never mind.
Yeah, that Carp jersey is phenomenal there, Anson. I got to say, love the Meadows. The Tigers have been doing a great job with all of their promotions this season. I saw the Tiger bucket hat that I was super sad about missing.
Was very sad about that as well.
I was so disappointed that I was not able to get that.
You got great hair, though. Why would you cover it?
All right, let's not go that far, Anson.
I'm being serious.
You got the hair over there for sure. I'll take the beard, but
the chat hates my hair, man.
Yeah, they light you up every now and then.
Oh yeah.
Make sure you guys smash that like button. We're over here. Riley Green steps up to the plate looking to do some damage.
Yes, sir. 2 on for the Tigers, 1 out. Top of the third here. First pitch, pop up off the changeup. Hate seeing Riley go after that. Always has that mental green light on pitch one, and I just would like to see him take pitches like that a little bit more.
That is frustrating. That is so frustrating.
I couldn't tell from your body language.
Yeah, right. I wear my heart on my sleeve here, Anson. That was extremely frustrating. You want to see Riley Green go up there and try to take a big old hack, but you want to see him, if he is going to take that big swing early, you want to see him try to go to right, not a weak fly ball to left field. That was just not a great at-bat there. Let's see if Perez can pick him up.
Yeah, Perez with one chance here as the Tigers have runners on first and second. He watches that cutter in for strike one. But the Tigers have a great opportunity here to take the lead. Would love to see them get a man around here. Perez 1 for 1 on the day. Hatch readies. Now he steps off here. And is that going to be a... Saw a signal from the blue there. Wasn't quite sure what he did there.
Yeah, going back to that Riley Green one, it's just, you're right on it. You want to see him be a little bit more patient. If you are going to swing early, we want to see a better swing than that.
Yeah, you want to... and that was a surprising cut from Wensil, high and inside. Was able to tag it, send that one foul. He falls behind in the count 0-2, and he wants a new bat.
I think he's lucky he swung that bat because it looked like it was going to hit him in the face.
Yeah,
there,
it really
Anson.
did. Really lean into it.
Yeah.
Lean into it.
take one off the cheekbone there. I'm okay with Perez not doing that.
A definite crack at the base of the bat there as the fellas in the dugout take a peek, but he definitely took a high inside cut on that one. He got jammed, ending the life of that piece of lumber out of Louisville. Perez back up here, 2 on, 2 out, 0-2. Tigers dead knot with the Twins here in Game 3 of the series. All right, this is Game 4.
Game 4 here. Tigers looking for the 4-game sweep over the Minnesota Twins. And after what they did at Comerica Park to derail anything that the Tigers had going, this is a big spot to, just prove to the division that we run this town.
No doubt. Wenzel Perez fouls one off after taking a ball to pitch earlier. Count stands at 1-2. Still 2 on for the Tigers, 2 out. Trying to take the lead for the first time in this Sunday matinee.
Sunday pitch. He's thrown 24 here in the third. A little stressful inning for Hatch. Let's see if Perez can. Kind of want to see him shorten up the swing here. Kind of try to stay back up the middle like he did his first time.
No doubt about it. This one inside. He takes a rocket. He might have an opportunity at first. Ooh, and just beaten by the throw there. Wenzel took another high and inside pitch there. He likes those, at least at that at bat, but it is enough to finish the inning. Tigers with 3 hits, Twins with 2, and the game tied at 1-1. But we are here in Birmingham at the Woodward Studios, and we look at the amazing, talented stylists right next door there at Lady Jane's. But Haley, let's tell them how wicked awesome Lady Jane's is.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
We are back, baby. Woodward Tigers live stream. Nicholas Kohloff, beat reporter for the network. Anson and Haley. We are here breaking it all down for you. Tigers tie it up at 1. Anson, what have you liked so far in this game, and what have you not liked?
Honestly, as we've watched the game go, the Tigers hitters have gotten more and more patient. It's what we talked about in the pregame, and we saw really a wasted first inning from them. Now we're seeing them take bases on balls. We're just seeing them hit the ball a little bit better. And what I really like is the fact that Hatch is up into the 50s through 3 innings.
Yep, I agree with you there. I think there's been some really big missed opportunities from the Detroit Tigers that I believe they should be up 3-1 right now at least.
No doubt.
And, it's a tie game at 1. So I want to see Chris Paddock continue to bounce back, battle back. And we got a super chat in there.
Hey.
From side last 5339, I believe it's Burn. So at Target Field in Minnesota, a ball must go over the top of the wall in right field to be a home run. It works like the green monster at Fenway.
Okay. Good to know.
Shout out Burn.
Sideless is Burn.
I
did not know that.
YouTube's kind of.
Uh-oh. Byron Buxton with a smash. That's going to be in the second deck at Target Field, the first row. A lucky fan from Minneapolis is taking that one home to his kid. Tigers fall behind again with another shot to left field. This time, it's Byron Buxton. Fortunately, nobody on base. Twins lead 2-1.
Byron Buxton, what does he do? Kills the Tigers. Everybody knows this. Byron Buxton just deleted that baseball, and this is what happens when you fail to capitalize on the momentum right there. You weren't able to get the lead. Chris Paddock leaves one up there. Byron Buxton just deletes that baseball to the second deck up there in Mini.
No doubt about it.
That ball was crushed.
It certainly was. Both of those were crushed. The one on a rope, the other one, honestly, very, very deep. Byron Buxton has had a hell of a resurgence this year after being mired in injury for many, many seasons.
Yeah, Byron Buxton, I actually got a chance to talk to him when the Twins were in town here, Anson.
And Larnach there with a double to right center field. First pitch taken both times by each batter this inning. Paddock absolutely starting to unravel here. No outs, runner on second. You don't like to see Trevor Larnach get those extra base hits.
You know what I wish that we could do right now is warm up a guy, a long reliever, like Brant Herter. But you know what we did? We sent him down to Triple-A, Anson. Don't agree with that decision at all. I think he's a big-time reliever for this Detroit Tigers team. We had one of the best ERAs on the squad, and we sent him down to Triple-A.
No doubt about it.
Make sense.
Keishel takes a high one inside, nearly got hit by that one as he flips the bat back to himself. 1 ball, 0 strikes here. Paddock getting up into the high 30s in the pitch count. Needs to get an out here, try and settle this inning down.
We got the chat fired up about having Chris Paddock on the mound. I will say that. We have a lot of hate going on for Paddock, and hard contact all over the place right now.
Check swing foul ball for Keishel, evens the count up at 1-1. Once again, Trevor Larnach sitting on second with no outs here in the bottom of the third. Tigers trail 2-1 on the heels of that Byron Buxton bomb to left field. The second deck it made it to. Paddock takes a look at second. Now he delivers. This one's going to be shot out in a bloop that's unable to be handled by Zemak. Larnach will only get a chance to advance to third, but Keishel reaches with the bloop single.
This is trouble, Anson. I am worried. I am concerned. There's no other way around it. Chris Paddock has to battle back here. I mean, if you just let up one more run, I think it's a successful inning, but it looks like this game might turn out to be a complete blowout if this inning gets away from him.
No doubt about it. Yeah, Tigers in trouble of really letting this one get out of hand. Runners on the corners for the Twinkies here in Minnesota. Game 4. Tigers have won the first 3 games of the series, 4 in a row, looking for 5 now. As Cody Clemens, 0 for 1 on the day, takes a low one. This could be 2. No, they'll take the force at first, but that'll be enough to get the runner over. Larnach scores, driving the score to 3-1. Only 1 out here. Keishel over to second.
Disappointed here, Anson. I cannot fake it. I cannot hide it. This team didn't capitalize early in this game, and you're seeing the Minnesota Twins take advantage of that. The Sheriff right now is letting a lot of highway robbery going on over here on the baseball diamond.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Ryan Jeffers 0 for 1 on the day. The catcher up to bat. He smacks one for a single out to left field, and things have come completely unraveled for Paddock here as Keishel reaches third, gets into threatening position there. Runners on the corners, only 1 out.
Nope, don't like that. Yeah, this is not a good spot right now for the Detroit Tigers. Guys on first and third, 1 out. Paddock at 40 pitches, but he's not getting any more swing and miss. He cannot miss the Minnesota Twins bats right now. You really want to see him buckle it down, get a double play, get out of the inning only down 2.
Yeah, we'll see Chris Fetter take a little trip out to the mound, try and calm his somewhat new pitcher down a little bit. Again, facing his old team who took quite a bit of advantage of him the last time he saw them. And it looks like the same recipe again today. Familiarity.
Yup, really tough spot here. I'm going to keep saying the same thing over and over. I'm trying not to, but the failed opportunities, the missed opportunities for the Detroit Tigers really comes back to haunt you. You're going up against a pitcher with an ERA that is north of 5, and you're unable to capitalize when you have runners in scoring position. You got your 8-hitter who's been in Triple-A in some of the year, getting the green light on 3-0. Make it make sense to me, because I'm not seeing this Detroit Tiger team play the sharpest baseball.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, honestly, everything seems to be falling on Paddock's shoulders. I don't hate the Tigers' offense right now. They've made a couple of miscues, but Paddock has served up some absolute meatballs thus far in this game to the tune of 3 runs right now as he gets an opening pitch ball there to Wallner. Wallner 0 for 1 on the day thus far. Looking to get another run home for the Twins. This one low on the changeup, ball 2. You don't want to walk him and add another guy to the bases here unless you're looking for that double play ball. Paddock hasn't seen a whole lot of ground balls today, though.
Yeah, tough spot. He's over here dealing with the pitch com and his baby blue glove.
Smurf Blue. That one, low changeup, got him swinging. Wallner gets the count to 2-1 here.
About time you see a pitch like that from Paddock.
Yeah,
that's what
very,
you need to
very
see. Keep
nasty
that
pitch.
change up low. Keep him off balance. That was an ugly swing there.
Yeah, nasty pitch too. Started inside, started right over the plate, and ended up being a low pitch out of the zone. Got him to swing it. Another swing here fouled off. That's going to even the count up at 2-2, and looks like Paddock needed that little chat.
Yeah, Chris Fetter usually knows how to press all the right buttons, and he usually gets the most out of his pitchers, even if they haven't brought it all season long. This is a really big spot for Chris Paddock to get out of this if the Tigers want to win. Time there called by the hitter, I believe, and a 2-2 count.
What do you think about those black and white or deep blue and white throwback jerseys of the Twins?
Cities? I don't hate them.
I kind of like them, to be honest.
I like them. I like them better than their regular jersey, I'd say.
Yeah, certainly. 2-2 pitch on its way from Paddock, and he gets him swinging a huge at-bat there. Obviously, Paddock looks settled down after the mound visit from Chris Fetter. Down to the last out here in the third. They need to finish this inning and minimize the damage to just 2 runs.
I think Fetter came out and said, hey, Chris, do you want to play in the playoffs, or do you want to be left off of this roster? Because that's what it's looking like right now. Chris Paddock pitching with a purpose, which he failed to do early in this inning, but like to see him at least respond and show some heart to battle in this inning. Let's see if he can officially get out of it.
Big strikeout as he faces against Royce Lewis once again, who took him yard in his first meeting with him earlier on in the game here. Glad to see 2 outs and not the bases juiced for Lewis right now. Wearing that 23, the 0-1 pitch from Paddock on its way, and he gets a big cut out of Lewis to get ahead of him 0-2.
That was a nasty curveball. You don't see it too often from Chris Paddock right there, but that was a big-time swing and miss from Royce Lewis there. 0-2 count. You like the spot here. You going back to that changeup?
Yeah, I think you'd want to get him to swing on something outside here. After that first home run from him, that first at-bat, I don't want to give him really anything to hit. Make him guess 4 different times here.
Yeah, especially not inside.
And that one was inside and high for ball 1.
Yeah, if you're going to miss is what I'm saying, you want to miss outside. The way he was able to turn on that baseball in that for his first home run.
Glad he didn't chase that high one. Definitely had an opportunity to put some damage on that ball. This one low, a little bit of a check swing. They're going to ask for the appeal, say he did not go around. Didn't look like he went around to me.
Tried to do the Soto shuffle after coming up short on that one. Did you see the take about Juan Soto with, I believe it was like New York radio, about him not looking like a 26-year-old? Thinking that he lied about his age?
Interesting. Well,
Ridiculous
he certainly played
take.
that way as a prospect. God, guy's a hell of a stick out there.
Yeah.
2-2 is the count. Man on third and first. 2 outs here. Bottom of the third. Twins lead the Tigers 3-1. Pitch is on its way, and it looks like he's going to get him popped up. Torkelson's going to have to get on his horse, and he can't get to it. Fortunately, the play was just missed. Foul.
Torkelson's got to make that play. I don't think he got a good read. Yes, that's
didn't
a
get
tough
a good
play.
read, but
it's a tough play. Don't get me wrong. I want to see Spencer Torkelson catch that ball.
Looked like he held up there towards the end of his run and
Yep.
definitely misjudged that one. We'll see if that comes back to haunt the Tigers. You got to get to that ball. I don't think anybody's accused Torkelson of being a gold glove, but that is a mistake that you just can't make with runners at the corners trying to end the damage that we've seen here in the bottom of the third. That 2-2 count remains. Runners still at the corner, still 2 outs. Paddock desperately trying to close the door on the third here as we get a timeout from the batter or Blue. Not quite sure what happened there. It looked like a batting glove issue.
I believe Royce called it late there.
Yep.
What do you think about that mask for Jake Rogers?
I think Jake Rogers does everything well except for hit.
Yeah.
He lives well.
Did you see Dingler's, yes, I think it was last night or 2 nights ago?
I have not, but another time called here as we see a dancing small green balloon make its way onto the field of play.
Have got to say that's a first. I have not seen a balloon take over the diamond before.
Looked like a water balloon, one of the smaller balloons from here.
Yeah, not sure what's up with that.
Paddock readies. The 2-2 pitch finally on its way, and it's high fastball for ball 3. 3-2 count.
Four-seamer, and they just talked about it. He is pitching his four-seam fastball 49% of the time when he's able to get 2 strikes on a hitter. So it doesn't look like he's really leaning that changeup or curveball. I'm sure the Twins know that. Maybe he can get him off track here with one of those pitches.
And a low curve is going to juice the bases. Ball 4 is taken by Royce Lewis after he fell down early in that count. A.J. Hinch starting to look at his bullpen. I wouldn't be surprised if we see somebody warming up soon, and you hate that with Paddock only at 52 pitches and not yet through the third here. 2 outs, bases loaded, Twins leading 3-1. First pitch to Brooks Lee, high fastball taken for ball 1.
Tough spot here, Anson. We've been battling. Can Chris Paddock get the Tigers out of this just down 2? If he gets a base hit here, Tigers are looking at a very slim chance to come back.
And another ball outside here. What Paddock absolutely cannot afford to do is walk a run in here.
And what you couldn't afford to do is go down 2-0 to a guy like Brooks Lee. Now he knows you have to go in there. You got to go in the zone. Brooks Lee is going to be able to do damage with that pencil baseball bat. Shout out Doodle Bob from
That's
SpongeBob.
Actually pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. I didn't realize that. Is that what they all are? Pencils?
I don't think the other ones were. That one for sure is, though. It looks like straight out of Doodle Bob and SpongeBob for all those out there.
Check swing is a called strike there. He smashes one, and this is going to be trouble. This one is gone for a grand slam home run. Brooks Lee drives the score to 7-1. Got the pitch he wanted, took it for a ride, and that could be all she wrote for Paddock. They might let him get out of this inning, but Paddock gets served up by his former team once again.
Once again, this could be it for Paddock as a Detroit Tiger, Anson. What are we doing here? He gives up 4 in the first outing, 7 in this one. You go down 2-0 to a guy like Brooks Lee, smash that ball for a grand slam. Tigers down 7-1. This game's behind them. At this point, I'm just putting Chris Paddock out there just so he can eat up innings for the last time as a Detroit Tiger.
And here's another smack down the right line, but it's able to be caught up. I believe that's Perez that made up the ground to make that play and finish the inning, but not before the damage is done. A lot of walks, a lot of hits, and a third home run. All the scoring, in fact, has come from the home run ball thus far. And the Tigers trail 7-1 here. I want to get right off the bad stuff. I want to rewind to a take that you had midweek after the Tigers absolutely owned the White Sox in Chicago. And a prospect, a young guy, Mr. Melton, was on the mound for them. You said he looked good. You said the Tigers dominated. Give us a little breakdown of how that game went, because that was a game where it felt like this Tigers team was back.
Yeah, and a guy like Troy Melton, I have faith in right now compared to a guy like Chris Paddock. The rookie has the stuff. No other way around it. He has confidence. He has the fastball. He's got the changeup, and he's got the breaking balls to go with it. I think Troy Melton could legitimately be this team's number 2 starter.
Wow.
That is how crazy I am willing to go
over
about Troy
Mize,
Melton.
over Flaherty.
Over Mize, over Flaherty. These guys have not been the sharpest. Obviously, 10 Ks last night for Mize. I'm a little heated up right now, so I might be talking a little crazy. But Troy Melton is the number 2 starter on this team right now.
Okay.
I wholeheartedly believe that. The way he was able to dominate that White Sox lineup, who was putting up 6 runs a game since the All-Star break. Troy Melton dominated. Sawyer Gipson long looked great coming in after him. And if that's what they choose to do, I am comfortable with it. If they wanted only pitch Troy 5 innings, I have faith in him to give you 5 innings compared to a guy like Bad Jack Flaherty or a guy like Chris Paddock.
Hey, considering Paddock's out in here, I'll take 4 good innings.
Exactly.
No doubt about it. But
what are we doing with Paddock? I mean, are we going to give him leeway and continue to do so because we traded another catching prospect when we went up and got him? This was, I think, a swing and a miss. Or do you think it's more just the Minnesota Twins, Anson?
I think a lot of it is the familiarity. I don't think that Chris Paddock is ever going to be the pitcher that we thought he was going to be after his rookie year. As we watch Hatch with the first pitch, called strike, very low slider, definitely outside of the zone. Really only about the second or third missed call here from Blue today, but Baez falls behind as he takes 2 pitches. That one very close. Called ball, even sings up 1-1. You hated the first at-bat out of Baez when he had runners on base with an opportunity, but instead hit right into a double play. This one cranked by Baez. This could be a problem. No, it's going to fall short in the target win there to the warning track. Easily handled. Really looked like he put a charge behind that, but out number 1 is in the books.
Big-time tease right there from Javi Baez with that swing. It did look like a home run, just another underwhelming.
It looked like he got a hold of that one to me, to be honest with you, but it definitely hung up there. Launch angle was wrong. Barely made, not even quite to the warning track. Your boy Z-Mac here, who walked his first time up, takes a high ball 1.
You give up 6 runs in the 3rd inning. If you come out and do a 1-2-3, basically might as well just put the game away. I mean, what are we doing here? Zach McKinstry, want to see him really have a good at-bat here. Try to get the Tigers at least something going.
Yeah, Hatch misses badly with the second pitch against McKinstry there for ball 2. McKinstry ahead in the count 2-0 here. Love to see another walk out of him.
Exactly. Get him on base. You need base runners. You need to get something going. You can't put up a 0 here. You really can't do it.
Takes a cutter down the pipe for strike 1. McKinstry, 2-1 count here. 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Takes a ball inside. Tigers trail 7-1 after a big 3rd inning by the Twins.
Yeah, chat's fired up about A.J. Hinch, Chris Paddock, everybody around it. Thomas Roro, no way you should start Paddock. Should have just started Montero.
I mean, Paddock had a nice trip out the last time he started. McKinstry takes their 3-2 full count here. But, Paddock, they're going to have to figure out who they can put him out against because he surely cannot pitch against this Twins team here. This is a rocket sent out to right field here, but it's going to be not enough. Out number 2 is in the books here in the top of the 4th.
Tough spot right now, Anson. Tough spot. Trey Sweeney comes up. You get 2 outs immediately after giving up 6 earned runs. This Detroit Tigers team, this was a team that you're going up against. One sec. That you're going up against that traded away north of 6 players, 7 players. The Minnesota Twins gave up on the season. This is a team. I know you're going to win the series.
Nasty pitch there. First pitch against Sweeney. Changeup with a ton of movement. Clips to the bottom of the zone.
I know you're going to win this series, but this is a series that you really should have swept. And the fact that you're down 6 runs right now in the 4th inning.
Yeah. Paddock certainly served this one up on a platter for the Twins thus far. Tigers have been gritty recently. Not as gritty as the first half of the season. But I wouldn't be surprised to see them put some more runs on the board and make this a little bit of a ball game. And Trey Sweeney could do a lot to start that here with 2 outs, 0-2 spot. Tough one for him as he takes an inside, what looked like it might have been a ball or a strike there. He takes it for a ball. Tough pitch to lay off of, especially in an 0-2 count.
Exactly. And that was one of the nastiest front door two-seamer or
definitely should have been a strike.
Yeah.
Hatch gets some swing in there on a far worse pitch. Sweeney would love to have that one back, but he won't get it back. Instead, the Twins will come back for the bottom of the 4th here, leading 7-1, 7 runs on 7 hits. Tigers 1 run on 3 hits. Well, we might not see this guy today,
Sadly.
but Kyle Finnegan has been absolutely excellent since being acquired at the trade deadline for the Detroit Tigers. I said the day that we got him that this was the Tigers' playoff closer. I got some pushback on that, but thus far, he has been the guy. He has pitched in 7 games, 7 appearances to the tune of 7.2 innings, only giving up 2 hits, no earned runs, only 1 walk. He's K-ing guys. He's getting guys out. He's closing games. I want to take a quick look. 40 games for the Natties, had 20 saves, 4.38 ERA, 1.28 WHIP. Not numbers you like to see, not numbers you're excited about when you trade for this guy, when your bullpen's struggling the way it has been. But again, I got to mention, 10 Ks in 7.2 innings. He was only 32 Ks in 39 innings as a national. The guy is cooking right now in that closer role.
And I got to ask you, I mean, shout out, are you familiar with Josh Randall or RJ Sales?
No.
That's who the Tigers gave up for this cat.
Okay.
Kyle Finnegan. That's what it's all about, right? You're giving up some prospects that nobody's heard of, and you get an elite closer right now for the Detroit Tigers. The way he's been able to be so successful is the Detroit Tigers have completely reshaped of what he is pitching and when.
No
he
doubt.
has completely increased his usage on his splitter, and he has decreased his usage on his fastball. But the decreasing of the amount of times he throws that fastball, it makes it that much better when he chooses to throw that pitch. But his splitter has been dominant, and that's the reason why it's been so successful.
Yeah, all 9 hitters came up to bat for the Twins in the bottom of the third. So we kick off the bottom of the fourth the same way we kicked off the bottom of the third with Byron Buxton. And once again, he reaches safely. He's 3 for 3 today, 2 singles and a home run. This guy loves himself some Chris Paddock.
Loves himself Chris Paddock, loves himself the Detroit Tigers. But yeah, when I spoke to him early in the season, which I didn't get to, he talked about Tarek Skubal, but before he did talk about Skubal, he talked about going up against the Tigers specifically, and something gets boiling in his blood to face a division rival in the Detroit Tigers. Shout out Byron Buxton for the time. He was actually a really good guy, which I hate to see him killing the Tigers right now.
Byron Buxton doing his best Pedro Serrano impression. Guy looks a lot like him, I'm not going to lie, especially with those glasses running the bases as we see Trevor Larnach come up for his 3rd time. He's 1 for 2 on the day. Of course, he came across the plate in the 3rd after getting on with a double. Paddock into the 60s now as he tosses it back to Chase Buxton back to first base. Larnach would love to continue what Buxton started here on the bottom of the 4th. 1 on, no outs. Tigers down 7-1. Paddock trying to save a little bit of face as he gets a big swinging strike on Larnach.
Yeah, this is a really tough spot. I mean, you can't allow any more runs. I'm not going to sit here and just act like the Detroit Tigers are going to come back down 7-1 because the odds are not in their favor.
They are
but
not.
To do so, you cannot allow any more runs if they want to have any hope of even making this a ball game here, Anson.
High ball, 4-seamer there. Had a chance to get him out there with a strikeout, but the count moves up to 1 ball, 2 strikes for Larnach. Paddock, plenty of pitches so far with no outs in the bottom of the 4th. 63 on its way low. The throw to second, not in time. Buxton steals a bag. You called it the first time he was on base. They didn't need it then. They don't need it now, but he still took himself a bag.
All-star Byron Buxton. I wish he didn't have that no-trade clause, I will say, Anson, because I think they would have shipped him out as well to restart that rebuild.
In Tigers white.
He would look great in center field for the Detroit Tigers. I really wish we were able to pull that off somehow.
Yeah, and I'd love to just see the Tigers or Paddock pull off some outs here as we see Buxton waiting patiently at second. Full count for Larnach. Tigers trail 7-1 here early.
Phoenix Sunda says, bro, what if they do? What if these MF pull off the dub? Exclamation point. If you send me that bet slip on Twitter, I will believe you, but I'm not.
Send us that bet slip, and if it hits, I'll send you a package of cards and stickers and Woodward stuff. I promise. Because give us the mojo where I have to pay you for this win. I'm okay with it.
Me too.
And there's a low pitch taken by Larnick. That's another walk. Paddock really struggling today. Looks like he would love to be out of this game, but the only way he's going to get himself out of this game is complete disaster or finishing this fourth. Not sure if he's going to get sat down anytime soon. He created this mess. He made this bed, and it seems like A.J. Hinch is going to make him lay in it.
1-0 down in the count to their 3-hitter. You got to find a way to get a double play here on a changeup away. That's what I would go with.
Yeah, Keishel, who's been spectacular
Changeup
this
away.
year as a rookie, was drafted only 1 year ago in the first round, same round as Max Clark. Keishel, I see the hands up by Nick. Keishel grounds maybe a double play ball. Oh, not handled at first, and the runner is going to get around. Buxton scores, head first slide. Keishel safe at first after Torkelson couldn't handle the relay to get that double play, and the Twins add another one. Buxton has seen home base all 3 times thus far, and Keishel reaches again. Will be interesting to see how they score this.
It'll be interesting for sure, but we saw the bone saw from Colt Keith. Talk about some boneheaded mistakes from this Detroit Tigers team, just not looking sharp at all. They don't look like a team that wants to be there today. They don't look like a team that's gearing up for the playoffs. You're going up against a team like the Minnesota Twins, and they're absolutely taking it to you on the diamond on a Sunday. Tough look for the division-leading Detroit Tigers.
Yeah. Hall of Fame day for Corey Koski. The Twins fans are happy. We'll come back to Torkelson and the 2 mistakes that have impacted this game to the tune of 6 runs or 5 runs at this point. There's a shot out to left field. Easily handled there. Tigers with 2 outs on the Twins here, but again, it's a little more damage is done. You look at Torkelson, isn't able to chase down that inning-ending foul ball, which then turns into a grand slam. That's 4 runs. Now here, Keisha would have been safe at first, but the bungled play at first, dropping that ball, cost them another run. Torkelson single-handedly, you could blame 5 runs on at this point. Paddock should have been out of that inning.
Anson, that's a phenomenal point right there by you. Great work on it. Spencer Torkelson, not able to help out his pitcher. It's just tough to look at.
Yeah, truly is. And Torque, known for his bat, not known for his glove here. Keishel Speedster, a guy that could be on the move to second here. I'm not sure why they'd give him the green light, up 7 runs, but the pitch outside to Ryan Jeffers. First pitch, ball 1-0. This one getting out of hand before it barely even really started.
Yeah, truly.
Jeffers, 1 for 2 on the day. Takes a high one. They do send Keishel, and he got him this time. Tigers end the inning on an ill-devised steal there with 2 outs by the Twins. Not really sure what they were thinking on that one. Keishel got kind of a late jump. Great throw from Jake Rogers at home plate to end the inning, but a little more damage. Takes a score to 8-1. Let's talk about a guy that you chose today for 2 bags. You liked that parlay bet. Not sure the back end's going to play true with the Tigers winning the money line, but we do have an opportunity to cash the front end, which would be Kerry Carpenter getting a second bag. Want to take a quick look at what Kerry has meant to the Tigers this year. Kerry, it's not a career year for him by any means, but he's sitting right there with his career average at 273 career hitter, hitting 266 this year, 847 OPS career, 838 this year. Home runs, 22 on the season. This guy, I don't want to call him the MVP, but he seems to come up with timely plays time and time again for this Tigers organization.
Exactly, and he's not just such the great lefty bat going up against righty hitting. It is all about the person that Kerry Carpenter is, the teammate that Kerry Carpenter is. He is heavy diving into his faith. He talks about it a lot. He praises Jesus. He talks about that, and honestly, I think he brings...
Jesus was a carpenter.
Exactly. He brings like a really good uplifting vibe to the whole entire Detroit Tigers team. I see the way that players gravitate towards Kerry Carpenter, and you can see that day in, day out on the field, especially at those home games. And the Detroit Tigers are 22 games above 500 when Kerry Carpenter's in the lineup with the record of
that's a juicy stat.
59 and 37.
Wow.
So Kerry Carpenter, when he's in the lineup, good things are happening for this Detroit Tigers team. Today, pitching not able to help out. I do still think he gets the 2 bags.
Absolutely juicy stat from our Woodward Tigers insider, Nick Kohloff. My name is Anson Wells. We are here for the Woodward Tigers live stream. Not the best score to report. Tigers trail 8-1 as the Tigers couldn't finish some innings, had an opportunity to, where the Twins then added on a lot of runs. As we see a first pitch from Hatch, who still is in there. As we start the 5th inning to Jake Rogers, an outside pitch, well outside the zone for a called strike one. Hate to see that. This one inside as Rogers fouls that one off, falling behind 0-2 early.
Got to get base runners here, Anson. If this team has any damn heart in them, they got to get something going, get guys on base, put some pressure back on the Twins.
Jake Rogers, tough spot here. 0-2 count, no outs, top of the 5th. Takes a cut on this one. That one sends it down the left field line. He doesn't have the legs to beat that one out. Somebody else might have. Nice shot, but handled there by Royce Lewis for out number 1.
Not even close.
No, he didn't even try and run that out.
Exactly. Is he banged up after taking that ball off the leg there?
He does look like he's running with a bit of a limp. I think that the Tigers broadcast is mentioning that right now as you see the Tigers restart their order here. Colt Keith, lead off. He's 1 for 2 on the day, did have that double, and he was able to come around and score on that for the Tigers' only run on the day thus far.
Colt Keith looking to get on base.
Yeah, need to start a rally at some point if they want to claw their way back into this game. Misses badly with an inside slider there. 2-0 count. Like to see that from Keith, who's been definitely patient thus far today.
You're looking at minus 50,000 right now for the Minnesota Twins live on the money line, and the Tigers are plus 3,000.
I hope our follower in the chat send us that bet, because I'd love to see that one cash. That's for sure.
Yeah, down 8-1. This is a first. I have not seen a blow up like this since we've been live on air.
No, we haven't. Here's a shot. Another one down the right field line. 2 back-to-back fouls for Keith. 2-2 count.
Do you blame AJ at all? I've seen this in the chat so far for leaving Paddock in there when it was the bases loaded.
AJ's cost us probably 4 games, and he's won us probably 14. So I'm not complaining about one of the best managers in baseball. He's made mistakes, but he's dialed up wild stuff that has gotten us the win. Here's a shot out to right field. This one might get, no, won't get down. Out number 2, handled easily in right field. But to me, A.J. Hinch took a roster in the first half of the season and dialed up his Wizard of Woodward magic to get them to that 25 games over 500. And you don't look at the mistakes that were made until you start slumping. Now the magnifying glass is on the mistakes. My magnifying glass is on the run they had in the first season, powered by the moves of our manager, A.J. Hinch. As we see first pitch here to Carp. He's going to foul or pop this one up. Should be easily handled to get out of the inning. Oh, it calls off. Little miscommunication between Jeffers and Royce there. Royce ends up handling it. Tigers go down 1-2-3 in the top of the 5th here. We head to the bottom in Minnesota. Twins lead Tigers 8-1, trying to get 1 win in the series as the Tigers won the first 3. But hey, we've got a new lineup here at Woodward Sports for the last month. As you know, Sean Baligan has returned, and he's in the mornings with Maz. We've got an awesome interactive show for you in the mornings. That's from 8 to 10. And then, of course, after them, BDE, two legends, Terry Foster and Darren McCarty, join our guy, Neil Rule, for that. And then, of course, Braylon Edwards is joined by Matt Shepard, 2 to 4 for the Braylon Edwards show with Shep. And finally, those heavyweights, one of the most organic shows in sports, they're on from 5 to 7. And Haley will show you a little bit more about it.
The bats are hot, and the weather's getting hotter. Summertime in the D with Detroit's big hitters, Woodward Sports.
And we're back. Little teaser there. The Tigers. We got plenty of Tigers coming up next week. Again, Saturday game for the Detroit Lions. So we'll be here on Sunday for that game. The week after that, Tigers play the Hall of Fame game, so they're not playing in week 4 of the preseason, so we'll be here for both Saturday and Sunday game. Then after that, we'll just be here on Sundays as the Tigers play on, or Lions play on Sundays, of course, and we'll be doing that through the playoffs and hopefully through the World Series.
Can't wait for it, Anson, and I gotta say, this new lineup to Woodward Sports has been incredible right now, and you know, football season is upon us. Nobody does it better for baseball and football coverage in the city, in the state, in the country. We do it better than anybody else. It's Woodward Sports. Make sure you guys get all of your information here. And speaking about a little bit of football right now, we got Michigan and Michigan State kicking off soon. Make sure you guys check out the college football show with Justin and Haley. Make sure you guys check it out. What day can they catch that, Haley?
You guys can check out the college football show Tuesday nights, 7:30. And yeah, Justin and I are the hosts. This upcoming Tuesday's show will be our 3rd show. So go tune in.
Make sure you guys check it out.
They've been crushing it, absolutely. Get your college football fix as we head in here into the bottom of the first. Jeffers takes a big cut but pops it up. This should be handled easy. Oh, no, he was waved off by Green. But they get the first out there. Paddock's still out there, and they're going to make him suffer through this one against his old mates there. Tigers trail 8-1 here from Minnesota. They did take the first 3 games of the series. They do have an 8.5 game lead over the former Indians, now known as the Guardians. 8.5 again, that lead is, as we see an opening pitch change up to Wallner for ball 1.
And I got to say, I will be back at Comerica Park this week, fired up to get a chance to chat with
sending us all kinds of good clips.
I will be sending in the best clips that nobody else has seen before for this show, so make sure you guys tune in and tune into our socials. But if you guys have any specific questions that you want to get for any player, make sure you hit me up on Twitter at Nick Kohloff. If you guys have any fun questions, baseball questions, whatever it is that you want me to ask a player, I can report because I'm a man of the people.
And if you want them answered instantly, super chat them right now. We'll make sure that our Tigers Insider gives you an answer on that. We are in the bottom of the 5th, 1 out right now. And I'm going to have to refresh my stream here. Bear with me, guys. My apologies. 2 outs as Paddock retires another one. We froze up there for a moment. But Paddock cruising through the 5th. Hasn't cruised much today, though.
Yeah, I mean, the way he's cruising through the 5th is kind of like the way Hatch was able to do against this Detroit Tigers team. I mean, 8-1. This baseball game looks like it's just going to go this way, 8-1. It doesn't look like the Tigers have any interest in drawing big-time at-bats. They can't do any damage to the baseball. Seems like the Twins are, ready to get out of here as well with the W and avoid the sweep.
Yeah, the Tigers cruise through the first 3 games of this series. Today, the Twins are cruising like Woodward. Shout out to the Woodward Cruise that's just finishing up today. It's been a wild one up and down the first paved highway in America. 1-1 is the count here. 2 outs. Royce Lewis, who did his damage to start the scoring off in this game with that absolute missile, as Nick coined it, to get that scoring started here, the 1-run shot. 2-1 here is the count as he takes another big cut there, but it just dribbles over to third, and the Tigers get the Twins down here in the bottom of the 5th. Paddock feeling better about that inning, but he's not feeling good about the score. Tigers down 8-1 as we head to the top of the 6th. And it's time, my friend. There's a certain gentleman in the farm system that you have been itching to talk about. I kind of been saving him in our prospect spotlights, been saving him just for you, and that would be the Tigers' Kevin McGonigal.
Kevin McGonigal is the number 2 prospect in all of baseball, and he's played over 900 innings at shortstop in the minor leagues. Everybody's saying let Glaber walk, you can put him at second. He's played 900 innings, and the majority of them have been this season. He's played at shortstop. The Detroit Tigers want him to be a shortstop.
Tigers need them to be a shortstop.
And this team, desperately, if they are going to make a deep run in the playoffs, I am calling for a Kevin McGonigal call-up.
I think it happens.
I think it does too, because
I think it has to happen, Nick.
You cannot leave this guy off of your playoff roster. This season, throughout the minor leagues, he's hitting .331, Anson, with a .427 on-base percentage to go along with an over 1,000 OPS at 1.031. Those are all elite numbers. He is the number 2 prospect in baseball. He is crushing the baseball with 43 extra base hits in 68 games. He's gotten called up to Double-A, and what has he done, Anson? He's just gotten better.
Over 1,000 OPS in 25 games.
Just
unbelievable.
Crushing the baseball. And you know the biggest thing to me? 44 walks to go to 32 strikeouts. He has walked 12 more times than he has struck out. He has over 38 more walks than strikeouts in his minor league career. Kevin McGonigal isn't just the Tigers' top prospect. I believe he's better than Connor Griffin as the number 1 prospect in baseball in my eyes.
I'm not a Connor Griffin guy. He's a big strikeout problem. Definitely not my number 1. I know a lot of guys out there like him. When I look at McGonigal and I look at guys that are dominating at low A and high A, when they come up to Double-A, even the great ones that you know are going to be moving on and are going to be players at the MLB, they tend to struggle for a couple of weeks when they make that move. He was hitting immediately.
Yep.
Hitting immediately. But we are back here, and we need the Tigers to start hitting immediately as we kick off the top of the 6th here.
Great spin.
Great breakdown on Kevin McGonigal from our Woodward Tiger insider, Nick Kohloff. Second pitch is low for a ball. I thought he called that a strike, though. But Michael Tonkin is going to take over here in the top of the 6th. He has a .270 ERA as you see that sweeping sweeper start inside and end up outside of the zone as Torkelson takes a stab at it and sends it foul, falling behind in the count 1-2.
Have we gotten a base runner since we gave up 7 runs?
I don't think so, sir.
Because I do not believe we have. Let's see if Spencer Torkelson can try to add some life to this Detroit Tigers team that looks like they're just absolutely rolling over here.
And Torkelson takes a bad swing at a low, what would have been ball, fouls it away to stay alive in the count. He's still behind it in 1-2. Tonkin looking to retire his first Tiger batter of the day. This one well outside on the fastball, evening things up at 2-2.
2-2 for Torque here. Please, can we get a guy on base? We're down 7 runs here. Make something happen.
Just for fun watching ability. I'm getting a little tired of this drought as you see that one swung on, and catcher couldn't handle it, but Torque doesn't even bother running as the catcher throws it off to first. You can tell Torkelson frustrated today. He knows he's culpable and on the hook for 5 runs right now.
Yeah, this is just a brutal showing from Torque. Let's see if Riley Green can do anything. Torque, run it. Oh,
No.
no, I'm fine.
Yeah,
I'm not running today.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Torkelson out of this game in favor of Glaber at this point. You just hate seeing that body language. Even when you're down 8-1, you need your guys to mentally stay in it. You see Green Riley here standing straight up and attacking this at-bat as he watches an outside ball, even the count up at 1-1.
I thought that was a fly on my screen here, Anson.
I thought it was on mine.
Yeah, as Riley swiping all right his face there, calling time. That's
That was a big bug.
I have not seen that before.
That was a very large bug. We're looking for a very large at-bat here from Green to get the rally going as he takes a big cut and misses on that 82-mile-per-hour slider outside of the zone. He falls behind 1-2 with one out here in the top of the sixth again. Those Minnesota Twins hoping to get one win in the series here. They lead 8-1 as you watch a big swing and miss from Riley. He goes down on strikes.
Yeah, I mean, this team has looked like they're giving up. That's what it looks like right now. They're not having great at-bats, but just not what you want to see out of a team that was going for the sweep, going for 5 straight. I picked money line as my best bet because you were going up against a bad pitcher, and I thought Chris Paddock was going to have the heart to bounce back. This team has not helped out their pitcher today, and their defense hasn't helped them out either.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Tigers looking forward to that next set of games, even though they draw the Astros, one of the top 3 teams in the AL. We'll see if they can get a little bit of mojo going here and maybe pick their spirits up. Wencel Perez, always a positive player out there. 1-1 count working against as he takes an outside fastball to get ahead of Tonkin. 2-1. Wencel 1 for 2 today with that single in the second. Only hitting 3-10 in the series, or 3 out of 10 in the series, as he takes a big cut there at a fastball. 2-2.
Wencel, he's got some swing and miss in him, but obviously he had the good at-bat earlier in this game. I'm not blaming this on Wencel Perez. You know who I'm blaming this momentum swing on? Javi Baez getting into the double play. Trey Sweeney swinging 3-0 with the bases juiced, or guy on first, whatever it was. Trey Sweeney getting the green light to swing 3-0 I thought was a huge mistake. And then Spencer Torkelson not being able to get to that baseball with the bases loaded. 3 biggest reasons why the Tigers are down 8-1.
Charlie Sheen outside pitch there, barely handled by the catcher. 3-2 count, pitch on its way, called strike. He watched that four-seamer over the heart of the zone. No swing from Perez. No hits again for the Tigers, this time in the 6th inning. Tigers trail 8-1 as we head into the middle of the 6th. What we're going to do now is hop around the league and take a look at some of the scores. The hottest team maybe in the history of baseball right now is in the top of the 10th extra innings. The Milwaukee Brew Crew deadlocked 2-2 with the Reds in Cincinnati. Texas Rangers doubled up Toronto, the AL leading Blue Jays in Toronto, 8-4 right now. That's in the bottom of the 8th. Top of the 8th, Atlanta leads the Guardians 5-4 in Cleveland. They've got 2 on with 2 out. Atlanta does, with an opportunity to add to that lead. White Sox up 2-0 on Kansas City. Baltimore beating up on the Astros in Houston 7-0. Pittsburgh and the Cubs are tied in Chicago at 3-3. Yankees and St. Louis also deadlocked at 3 from St. Louis. Arizona and Colorado scoreless in the bottom of the 5th. Tampa Bay and San Francisco yet to put a run up in the bottom of the 1st from San Francisco in the Bay. The Athletics trail the Angels being shut out 3-0 at home in Sacramento. Dodgers and the Padres have just started, and your evening national game, the New York Mets host those aforementioned Seattle Mariners.
Yeah, Seattle, you're going to have to watch out for. Boston is even a team that you really are going to have to watch out for right now. The way those young players are hitting to go along with the third baseman and Alex Bregman, who the Detroit Tigers fans have heard so much about. They look like a serious threat in the American League right now with a guy like Roman Anthony in the outfield, one of the top prospects
finally
in the
coming
game.
along.
Really coming along
struggled
now.
the first half of the season.
He's just double after double after double. Roman Anthony's going off. But I saw this in the Woodward Sports Chat. Shout out Burn. Always fade the Tigers after a 3-4 game win streak.
I'm not mad at that. I'm
Yeah,
not mad at that.
I
Couple
wish-
other games finished early. The Phillies beat Washington in Washington, and Boston lost to the lowly Marlins in Boston. Like to see that here as we kick off the bottom of the sixth. And Paddock still out there. Pitch 83 and 84, both 4 strikes. First one looking, second one swinging. Brooks Lee 1-1 on the day. That one was a big one, though. That 4-run grand slam. He did walk as well. And that one, interesting call from Blue.
Yeah, it could have been a called third strike there. I do like to see Chris Paddock still in this game because why would you waste any guy
There's
with
no
any
reason to.
leverage? There's no reason. You're down 8-1. Your hitters are flat. They're not coming out with energy. I saw this in the chat. At the tailgate wins. This team makes me drink, says Freddie Felt. And if you are going to drink, make sure you pick up an ice-cold Sun Cruiser, newest sponsor of the network, dominating the game when it comes to the best drink. Ice-cold iced tea to go with real vodka in there compared to a malt liquor. The real vodka makes a real time difference.
We had the watch party yesterday, and the guys were truly ranting and raving about it. I'm not a drinker, but I did try a sip. You can't taste the alcohol.
It is dangerously good
No
there,
doubt.
Anson.
No
4.5% as well. Was super happy to get Sun Cruiser on board with Woodward Sports. I think it's a perfect partnership.
Shout out Sun Cruiser. Well, Paddock looked dangerous on that strikeout, something we haven't said much about him today. Tigers trail 8-1. We are in the bottom of the sixth from Minnesota. Of course, the Tigers took the first 3 games of the 4-game weekend series. Here's a smash. Outman. And a jumping play by Perez. He drops it, had it right in this mitt. Outman turning. He'll get to third on what should have been a tough play, a tough leaping play from Perez. Looked like he had that one, Nick.
That is just how this damn game is going.
Can't win 'em all.
You cannot make this up. Bad
Can't win 'em
play
all.
after bad play. I mean, that would have been a phenomenal catch, don't get me wrong. But that's a play. I mean, when you get down to the playoffs, like you got to make that
make
play.
those plays.
You got to make the play if you're Torkelson. You got to not have the boneheaded error from McKinstry, not getting the lead runner. It's little things like this within this game that do concern me a little bit moving forward when we are talking about the playoffs.
Tigers have just been sloppy today.
Exactly. And you
Sloppy
saw this,
fielding,
yeah.
sloppy at-bats, and even sloppier pitching as we see Buxton up for his 4th time. He has reached safely and gotten across home plate each time he has been up to bat here. He gets a ball 1 to start things off with Paddock as Paddock reaches back for his 91st pitch. This one, he got Buxton to reach outside and pops him up for out number 2. What was going on there at third? It looked like Outman was ready to go on that one.
Not sure what the heck was going on there, but I was almost going to say if I was a betting man, I would have taken Buxton to get that RBI right there. Not a swing you typically see from a guy like Byron Buxton with 1 out, guy on third, not able to score him. Luckily for the Twins, though, they're up 7 runs.
Yeah, doesn't really hurt when you got a 7-run lead in the bottom of the 6th as we see Bailey Horn, the lefty, getting some work in the bullpen. Paddock hoping to finish this 6th inning, but then I'm pretty sure we won't see him any longer after that. But he has settled down. He had a pretty clean 5th. And aside from a play that should have been made, he should have been out of the 6th clean as well.
Exactly.
It looks like the hook is coming as AJ makes the walk to the mound.
Going with the lefty, Bailey Horn here. He's pitching 3 innings for the Detroit Tigers. The lefty, he's 27 years old. 3.2 innings, 3 Ks, 2.182 whip with a 2.45 ERA. This is a guy that's just going to come in and hopefully eat some innings for you.
So I know that the chat has been going crazy about Chris Paddock.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Chris Paddock, his outing, okay? Spencer Torkelson, if he makes that play, there's no home run in that, no grand slam home run. You're talking about a 3-1 ball game. Then the other time, he's got an easy play at first. Obviously, they're not going to get Keishel on that double play, but all he has to do is catch a pass from his second baseman to not allow the run to score from third. So literally, you could put 5 runs on the back of Spencer Torkelson, and now you're watching Chris Paddock leave with a 3-run outing.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Paddock did not get any help, but also
None
Chris
whatsoever.
Paddock's not out of the dust here because
No, of
Chris
course not.
Paddock
I'm
and
not
the way
excusing
he
him.
was able to freaking every single home run that he gave up had to have been 105 plus off the bat. Those were not cheapies. Those were nukes that Chris Paddock gave up. This defense didn't help him out. There's no other way around it. Spencer Torkelson, you really want to see him start to dial it in at first base. I don't know what he's doing over there a lot of those times. Those pop-ups, they scare me because Spencer Torkelson does not read the ball well, Anson. Also, when he's scooping the ball, we haven't seen that too much today, I don't feel confident in it.
No.
And you're going to have to make these critical plays within the playoffs like we speak on. But Chris Paddock, I truly don't know. You definitely can't put him out there in the playoffs the way he's pitching right now with a 5.10 ERA, 8 earned runs today, 3 walks, 4 Ks, and 3 bombs given up.
Yeah. Bailey Horn makes his way back or out of the bullpen for the Tigers. 3.2 innings for them this season so far. We'll see how he works out here in the bottom of the 6th with 2 outs, 1 on in scoring position at third. First pitch to Larnach, low and well outside there.
Low and away there for Larnach. 1-0 Horn. I mean, at this point, these guys are just kind of going through the motions.
No doubt about that.
Sure.
No doubt about that. This one sent out to right field. This one should be handled easily by Perez. Has to make a run to get it, but he does. Horn 2 pitches, 1 out. Finishes off the bottom of the 6th here. And listen, we've watched the Tigers fight over this last week or so. They have really dialed it up. We haven't seen much fight out of them today. However, I do know somebody that's going to fight for you, and that's absolutely Ven Johnson. If you need justice, you need Ven Johnson.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. VenFights.com.
Ven Johnson Law, check him out at venfights.com. If you need justice, you need Ven in your corner. And I'll tell you what, Tigers could have used Ven Johnson on the mound today or at first base.
They need a fighter.
Yes,
and that's what Ven Johnson is. He's going to fight for you, and he's going to win. Make sure you guys, if you're ever in a sticky situation, to call Ven Johnson Law. Yeah, Tigers in a lot of trouble today. There's just they're sloppy. They're slow. They're not having good at-bats at this point. You wanted to see some fight in them. They weren't able to do so, Anson. And it's our first time being up here for a blowout. I got to ask you, the Dream Cruise was this week. Are you a big car guy at all?
Well, shout out to the Jack Frost Auto Museum out in Washington Township.
Shout out.
My dad's museum. It's actually been there since the 50s and 60s, and my dad took it over from Jack Frost and brought it to the spot that it is now. Give him a holler and schedule a visit. I do love old cars. Now, I'm not a gearhead. I'm not underneath the car ratcheting wrenches is the word, I believe. But no, I do love some beautiful cars. Not a huge fan of Birmingham during the Dream Cruise, though, I'm not going to lie.
It's tough to park out here in the streets of Birmingham when the Dream Cruise is cruising. But, yeah, I'm not too big on cars, but I think it's kind of cool that they do have this. I will say, even though I'm not a fan of the traffic, I think it's cool for the city and for those gearheads. The same way I'm into sports, I know some people are that big into cars, so
oh, yeah.
It's cool to see,
It's Motor
people
City,
get
man.
together and be able to, connect on similar interests.
We
So
should
I think
have
that
the
part's cool.
largest car cruise in the world. We are the Motor City.
Exactly.
And we've got a new pitcher for the Twins. A Mr. Sands, the Sandman, is in, facing off against Javi Baez. 1-1 is the count. Nasty looking splitter. Ton of movement on that one. Had Baez fooled as he cocks his head back and forth. He acknowledges a nice pitch that he just faced there. Top of the 7th. The deficit is 7. And you don't love to see that as our 6th batter Baez up to the plate here. 0 for 2 on the day, down 1-2 in the count. That 44 Sands sends one well outside of the 96-mile-per-hour fastball, even he thinks up at 2-2. Love to see something from Javi here.
Love to see him try to get on base here. I mean, do the Tigers have any life whatsoever? Because since they went down 7.
Oh, and a nasty curveball that started out over the plate and ended up way outside. The scouting report is out on Baez, and that is get him with the low and outside stuff. He loves swinging at it. He swings at that one for the strikeout. Sands, 1 batter, 1 K.
I mean, what are we going to do? Is Javi Baez resorting back to old school Javi of the last 2 seasons when he was legitimately the worst hitter in baseball on some of these outside curveball strikes? It's been a little worrisome since the All-Star break started. And you've seen this team slump because of it at times. Obviously, 4-game win streak going into tonight. But
McKinstry with his Malaysian bamboo tiger striped bat there. I love it. I'm enjoying the different bats today. I'm not going to lie as he fouls one off. McKinstry is they're showing a little bit of change in his hit mechanics from July to August. And he'll get an opportunity here with the 1-1 count as he fouls off another falling behind 1-2.
yeah, make sure you guys smash that like button if you are new here at Woodward Tigers Live. Tigers find themselves down 8-1, but we will still always break down the best, try to get some positive takeaways post-game. And I'm Nicholas Kohloff. If you're new here, we got Anson, Wells, and the one, the only, Haley on the TD. Shout out. Thank you guys all for tuning in today. Make sure you guys smash that like button.
No doubt about it. And we'll get into some fun stuff as we near the 7th inning stretch, as there hasn't been much fun in this game today outside of the multicolored bats that the players have been swinging today. We've seen pencils. We've seen tiger stripes. We haven't seen many runs from the Tigers, though. McKinstry 0-1 today. Gets the 1-2 pitch from Sands. This one, high heat, gets him swinging, and he goes down on strike. Sands, 2 batters, 2 Ks.
Yeah, I mean, this Detroit Tigers team's driving me a little bit crazy here, Anson. They got no fight in them. They got no vengeance in law. This
No
is
doubt.
brutal right now, what I'm seeing out of the Detroit Tigers, who look like they just want to get out of Minnesota. They spent too much time there. You think maybe they went out in Minneapolis after in Minnesota after that 4th win in a row last night?
I don't know.
'Cause
They're playing like
look
they hung out in
flat.
St. Paul last night.
Yeah, for real.
Not a great city for those of you that know. Sweeney up. Trey Sweeney 0 for 2 with a flyout and a strikeout today, hitting 205 on the season. Falls behind 0-2 after he smashes that splitter foul left.
Talk about these fresh new bats that the Tigers have. They've struck out 9 times today. The bats aren't helping them at all.
No.
They're not seeing these pitches well.
And their patience is absolutely non-existent. We saw a little bit of it in the 2nd and 3rd inning as they were able to tie this one up. But obviously since then, the patience has gone out the door, and they're swinging to try and tie this game up with 1 batter. That's not possible, my friend.
Yep, exactly. As
1-2's the count here for Sweeney. Sands cruising here in the top of the 7th, 2 Ks thus far, 2 outs. This one right over the plate as Sweeney decided not to swing at that one, and he should have 3 batters, 3 Ks. Sands does his work. Keishel, Clemens, and Jeffers due up in the bottom of the 7th, but since we haven't had much fun today, let's have a little bit of fun here as the 7th inning stretch is upon us. One Neil Rule threw out a first pitch just recently. Did you get an opportunity to see that?
I did check it out. I also saw the
edit?
The edit
See-
that the social team made of Javier Baez swinging and missing on the Neil Rule first pitch. I thought that was a great job by our social team.
If you haven't seen that, you got to check it out on Twitter. It's fantastic. But I'm very curious. I want to see the second half of that pitch. I want to see how well that thing got home. Neil is a sneaky athletic guy.
Yeah.
He is.
For sure. I mean, I thought it was a pretty solid
He's a
job
golfer,
up there.
man. He's a scratch golfer, pretty close at least.
I know him and D-Mac just annihilate the competition at those golfing
repeat
events.
champs, man.
Repeat champs. Love to see it. I was actually able to get out on the course yesterday.
Okay.
For the second time this season. You know, we are crazy busy over here at Woodward Sports trying to bring you guys all the best content.
7 days a week.
But it was a good time to be able to celebrate my buddy's birthday. So it was good to get out on the course. But yeah, that Neal pitch out there was pretty damn fun. I got to ask you, how would you do on the mound for a first pitch scenario, Anson?
I was a ball player.
Get it across?
I got a nice gash here from a liner. I got another one from a foul to the chin. I could hit. I could throw. I played the hot corner. After I got hit 2 back-to-back years in the head, I got a little shy of the ball and shifted all of my attention to hoops.
Yep.
But I loved baseball. I wonder, and I hope that through this broadcasting job, one day one of you will allow me that chance to throw out a first pitch, and then we'll know for sure. But I'm pretty confident in the fact that I would not embarrass myself. How about you?
I was a big speed over accuracy guy when I was on the mound. I could definitely gear it up, but getting
not
it
get over the
where
plate?
I wanted it to was the tough part. But I got to say, I played center field. I would like to think I had pretty damn good speed. But it was so the gun from center was pretty solid when it came down to throwing out runners. But if I was ever on the mound, accuracy all-time low.
Okay.
So yeah, definitely not great on
just
control.
Tone it back on your first opening pitch.
Exactly. Don't try to show off the
High and
heat.
tight, baby. High
maybe
and
just
tight.
Maybe just show off the slider.
There you go. Show off those that collection of sports coats that we've been getting an opportunity to see. Our Tigers Woodward insider, Nick Kohloff. We love having him in the studio. Next weekend, we will have him at Comerica Park sending us some tidbits and clips and some fan exchanges. Always a great time. My name is Anson Wells. This is the Tigers Woodward live stream. Shout out to our TD Haley working hard over there as well as we get an opportunity to look at the American League standings. Your Tigers do have an 8.5 game advantage. Curious to see the scores over in Cleveland, and that one is in the bottom of the ninth. No outs. Atlanta still nursing that 1-run lead over the Tigers competition in Cleveland. Hopefully, if the Tigers do dump this game, as it looks like they might, that lead doesn't shorten any, and the Guardians fall at home as well. First pitch to Keishel is inside cutter for a called ball.
I'm just reading a tweet out here from Chris Mikowski, beat writer for the Tigers, and at about 3:40, he said Zach McKinstry just walked into the batter's box and quickly realized he wasn't up yet. Woof. Focus.
Yeah, the focus has not been there for any of the Tigers today. There's not one guy I can point to that I could say has played really well. Nice pitch from Horn there. Actually, Horn has played pretty well. He got his first batter out.
Yeah, looked good so far for sure.
Yep, was that a called? No, that had to have been a strike. They're not counting it, I believe. Should be 2-1 count. TV showing. Yeah, there it is. This one smoked to left, but it's handled by the third baseman. Just got Keishel, who is fast on the base pass. Horn, 2 batters, 2 outs here. Nice to see him come back out and make quick work of the young star Luke Keishel.
Yeah, at this point, Horn's just eating innings, so that's good to see. We got the lefty-on-lefty matchup as he goes up against Cody Clemens, former Detroit Tiger. Honestly, good to see Cody in the league.
Don't call me Roger. First pitch to Clemens is a sweeper inside over the heart of the plate for strike 1.
Cody, former prospect, obviously, in the Tigers organization. Were you ever big on a prospect that didn't pan out for the Tigers, that you had a lot of faith, that you had a lot of faith in, that didn't come to fruition?
There's a sinker fouled off for strike 2. For the Tigers, I'd say most of them, because up until the last few years, we've had a garbage minor leagues. Now, if you want to talk about minor leaguers over the last 5 to 10 years that have come up that in my dynasty leagues I've had a focus on, they're going to appeal to third. They get him on the K. Yep, they're going to strike him out there. Clemens definitely looked like he went around. He said he didn't. Third base said he did. I'm going to have to think about that question because I know there's a couple of guys that bother me to this day. There's a kid that was drafted 2 years ago in the second round named Matt Tugboat Wilkinson that I'm really looking forward to getting into the majors at some point. Reed Detmers, I could say I was a little off on. We waived him right before his no-hitter.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep. Now, Andrew Abbott, probably a bigger film guy than anybody in the league right now. I told everybody would be fantastic, and 7th-round pick, they all laughed at me. Andrew Abbott, hell of a pitcher right now, as we say, a hell of a pitch from Horn there for strike one, even in the count up at 1-1. Reached back and got some velocity on that fastball.
Yeah, I got to say a guy I was big on more recently was Matt Manning. I thought Matt Manning was going to be a really good pitcher for the Detroit Tigers, and he just was not able to put it together in the big leagues. And to be honest, could have used a Matt Manning right now for the Detroit Tigers if he would have panned out, the same way.
Don't feel bad you weren't alone with Matt Manning. A lot of people had high hopes for that kid. Jeffers 1 for 3 on the day. The 5-man in the order fouls another one away, staying alive at 1-2. Horn making quick work this inning. Got the last out in the bottom of the 6th as well, so he would love to finish things up here, give the Tigers 6 more outs to try and chip away at this lead and at least make the final score a little respectable. The 1-2 pitch on its way from Horn. This one fouled out of play.
Checking in on around the league, it's 5-4 right now. In the bottom of the 9th, as the Cleveland Guardians are down 1 to the Atlanta Braves.
Yep, one out, one on first as well.
We will update the folks when that one goes final, hopefully, for a Cleveland Guardian
Maybe
loss.
Zach McKinstry was watching that score and not the batting order. And a big cutter for a swinging strike 3. He retires the order without issues. Horn 4 straight. Would have liked to see him start the game the way he's pitching right now. But Tigers head into the top of the 8th. I want to revisit that Caesar's best bet once again. Guys, if you want to head on over to Caesar's Sportbook and put in code WSN1000, you will get an opportunity to match your bet if it doesn't hit. Minimum bet $20, maximum bet $1,000. Awesome opportunity there. Again, if you don't hit that first time, you'll get that money back in credit.
Yeah, for a day like today, when you think you're going to put up big numbers, the Detroit Tigers have 3 hits in 7 innings, Anson.
Well, one of them does belong to the guy that you called out, which was Kerry Carpenter, so the front end of your parlay is still alive. Our very own Woodward Tigers insider Nick Kohloff predicted a Tigers win, but also Kerry Carpenter reaching 2 bags, and he has reached 1 time today. I like your front end still.
I do as well.
Pause.
Yeah, the Detroit Tigers really let me down here. There's
front end of that bet.
Yeah, the front end of this one. The Detroit Tigers let me down. There's no other way around it. This team did not come out to play today. They started out pretty damn hot with getting guys on base, unable to come up with the big hit in this one. One guy that did come through for a big hit, Kerry Carpenter. He was able to drive that ball to right center field, borderline maybe even stretching that ball to a double. He could have possibly, but he went to first, got the RBI, and that's when this Detroit Tigers team tied it up at 1, Anson. And then 7 unanswered runs by the Minnesota Twins. Mistake after mistake after mistake by the Detroit Tigers as they look just to get out of town. They don't seem interested in playing in this game.
Well, here's a shot out as we see it live, and a huge diving play in left field in Atlanta for out number 2 against the Guardians. That ball, if it got down, would have been the tying run, as they do have a man on first. Guardians are down to their final out as they trail it home to the Braves 5-4. That would be a timely loss for the Guardians to match up with this beat down the Tigers are receiving in Minnesota today.
Yeah, shout out FanDuel Sports Network for having the awareness to go out to Cleveland after being down 7 runs within your own game.
They know what we want to see.
A little bit of, pause on the panic for Tigers fans.
I like how you put that.
That's exactly what the FanDuel Sports Network did right there. They do a great job at keeping everybody updated. They always try to remain positive. I think the cool thing about our broadcast is we will break it down for you how it is truly going on. We are not going to sugarcoat anything. Will we try to seek out the positives? Of course.
We're media, but we're biased. We're Detroiters.
But, yeah, I mean, that's FanDuel's. Basically, I don't think they can actually say a negative thing about the Detroit Tigers. We're not paid by them. We're going to call it how it is. That's what it's all about here. We're going to break it down for you. And today, the Tigers didn't show up. No other way to put it. Horrible game from the Detroit Tigers as they down 7 here in the top of the 8th. Still looking for a base runner, Anson.
No doubt about it. They've struggled as we see a new pitcher, Genesis Cabrera, for the Minnesota Twins come out in this one. He is launching the 2-1 pitch there. That one's low to Jake Rogers. Took a big cut on his first swing, but otherwise he's seen 3 straight balls since as Rogers gets an advantage on Cabrera here. I believe that's 3-1. TV's showing 2-1. They've been a little bit behind thus far, and we'll see what Jake is able to do with this 2-1 count. It is a 3-1 count. And he takes a fastball right over the plate. He was taking the whole way there, hoping to get a free base, but instead he'll get a 3-2 count.
Yeah, a couple really good chats in there I'm going to get to after this at bat.
Rogers hoping to start a little bit of a rally here as he takes a big cut at a fastball for swinging strike 3. Tigers are down to 5 outs.
5 outs. Honestly, it's like this team just didn't want to show up. Yeah. It's been brutal, but a couple of chats in here. Braves beat the Guardians. Tigers win, Tigers win, Tigers win. Gotta say, that is a hilarious one. And also, that GS pissed me off, man. I saw it coming from a mile away. That's why I was saying take Paddock out. I was like Matthew McConaughey clip of him in Interstellar. Also, awesome scene in that movie Interstellar when McConaughey's banging on the bookshelf trying to say don't leave Merv. Phenomenal movie. And yeah, you were right. Realistically should have taken Paddock out. Gave up the big grand slam. This game was over as soon as that ball was hit, Anson.
All right. As Ibanez grounds out to short there for out number 2. We do see a new leadoff hitter there. And Kerry Carpenter heads to the plate here. As you see those odds, we're looking for that second hit today. Give you guys something to cheer about alongside the Braves win in Cleveland over the Guardians today. So Tigers will not have an opportunity to extend their lead unless they can get back into this ball game, but they certainly won't lose anything on that 8.5 game lead in the Central. As a poke there to the second baseman is easily handled, and the Tigers now down to their final 3 outs as we head to the bottom of the 8th for Minnesota. The Twins lead your Tigers 8-1.
Just like the Detroit Tigers, I guess I'm not hitting today either. 0 for 2 on the bets. Money line, nope. Kerry Carpenter, 2 bases, nope. You know what? It happens, though, and that's why it is gambling. So please bet responsibly and do not ever put in what you cannot afford to. So make sure you guys bet responsibly with Caesar Sportsbook.
No doubt about it. August 20th or August 2025, we've seen some cool promos. We saw that Stranger Things Hawkins Tigers floppy hat. On the 18th, which is tomorrow, if you're headed down to see the Houston Astros game, get there early. Get your Italian heritage jersey. And then obviously we've got the cool university promotions. Lawrence Tech snapback on the 19th. Central Michigan snapback on the 22nd. Wayne State, U of M corn and blue, both of them in September. And then the Irish heritage jersey. Man, I got the Italian nose and the Irish skin. I got 2 jerseys I need to go and get out there. The Hispanic jersey on the 19th, I don't quite qualify for, though. I'm sure they dialed up something awesome. So if any one of those nationalities hit home for you guys, take a look at the upcoming promotions for the Tigers and get down there. Get one of those awesome pieces of memorabilia. That Carpenter, or the Parker Meadows jersey, though, the Gone Fishing Parker Meadows jersey, very, very cool stuff. I would have liked to get my hands on one of those.
Yeah, that one is crispy to say the least. And I got to say, I had the beach set from the promotion that they did.
You and Maz are twins in that.
Yeah,
got some too.
They did a good job taking care of the media. They went around with those.
Cool.
So it was actually super nice of those guys, specifically Colin with the Detroit Tigers.
Shout out Colin.
Always hooking it up. Great guy, great resource to have there, who does a phenomenal job with the Detroit Tigers PR. And, that fit. I was rocking it up north a couple Saturdays ago, and I got to say, lots of compliments from around the city of Sheboygan because
Mullet Lake, in fact.
Mullet Lake, Michigan. Shout out, yeah.
We'll definitely get into some stories of that because we got a post-game show where we're not going to be talking a whole lot of positive things, so we'll dial something positive. And I am curious how that wedding went for you guys over the weekend. But Bailey Horn makes his way out yet again. He's cruised through his first 4 batters, 1 to finish the 6th, swept through the 7th. Now he falls behind 3-0 to Wallner to open up the 8th. You liked what you saw from him early. You want to see him settle down here in this at-bat with Wallner.
Yeah, down 3-0 early, not what you want to see. Just got to get it in the zone, make them beat you at this point. Just try to get out of here with Horn being the only other pitcher that you use in this one.
Did get it right in the zone, as you mentioned. Wallner taking the entire way there. That one right down the pipe for 3-1. The 3-1 pitch is on its way. Another one down the pipe for a cutter. Nice movement on that one for Bailey Horn. I'm liking what I've seen from this young man here so far today. Full count for Wallner. Would love to see Horn not put on a runner today, and maybe we've got a new arm in our bullpen.
I'm not going to read too much into it yet, Anson, because of the fact that the Twins are up 7 runs in this one. It seems like everybody's just kind of coasting.
Yeah, and that one got away from him. The sweeper ends up way outside, and Hinch looks like he might be on the phone to the bullpen here. Yeah, Horn, as they look over at the Houston Astros game, they have gone deep into their relief. Why is that important against the Orioles? Well, Tigers host the Astros tomorrow, which means that their pitching staff will be a bit depleted as Horn takes a first pitch to Lewis, definitely high on the cutter, but the frame job by Jake Rogers was definitely enough to get Blue to call a first strike there. You got to love that play out of the catcher. This one, high and outside. Looked like he could have framed that one, but he didn't even try. 1-1's the count.
As we got cars rolling down Woodward before they finally shut off the Dream Cruise here.
Friday was rough. Friday was rough.
Want to see a double play here. I mean, let's just keep it moving.
Would love to see the double play get first 2 outs of this inning here. No outs, 1 on. Twins lead 8-1 here. Bottom of the 8th from Minnesota. Tigers took the first 3 games of this series convincingly, but this one is convincingly the other way for the Twins as the 4th pitch to Royce Lewis is inside for ball 3, driving the count to 3 balls, 1 strike. Bailey Horn looking a little out of his element after he cruised through his first 4 outs here. This one, a nice high fastball, gets it by Lewis for a full count.
Yeah, I saw a good chat in here, which I thought was...
Somebody's ahead here. I think I've got bad news coming for you. Royce Lewis. Oh, wow. And that is bad news, but from the umpire, what should have been a called strike 3 on the inside definitely clipped the zone, and Blue misses that. So Horn now, instead of 1 out, 1 on, is dealing with no outs. Runner on first and second, staring at that 7-run deficit as the pencil makes its way back to bat here for the switch hitting Brooks Lee.
And I gotta say, Anson, I think Dylan Dingler gets that call. Jake Rogers not able to get that strike call. Dylan Dingler is top 5 at framing in the MLB.
Absolutely, he is.
And he gets that call for
sure.
The
wild thing to me was Jake did such a great job of framing the first ball into a strike. I thought he was going to do it with that next one, which could have been, and he just didn't bother there. As we see a nice sweeper for Horn for no swing but a called strike. He gets ahead of Brooks Lee 0-2.
0-2, pencil bat.
The pencil bat's pretty fun, I'm not going to lie. And this one rocketed straight to third, almost a chance for a second double play there. great play made at third base there. Who is that playing there?
Andy Ibanez.
Oh, they did bring Ibanez in. Okay.
Chilling under Vecna says, I'd like to see the old McKinstry come back. He's struggling lately.
Yeah, he's walking to the plate when he's not hitting.
Yeah, I mean, talk about not being
and stopping
blocked.
in the middle of a play and not getting the man running to second.
Like, what is going on? I mean, Zach McKinstry, yes, he was an all-star, but we all know what Zach McKinstry is, and he is a utility player. He is a role player. He should not be asked to start every day and be depended on for a team that is a legitimate World Series contender. I think in that sense, you could say that they definitely needed to make some upgrades when it came to this lineup, because when you're going up against a team like the Twins with these kind of pitchers that they're putting out and you show up with 3 hits, it's flat out unacceptable. And if you're going to do this against the Twins and +5 ERA pitcher, what are you going to do against Hunter Brown? What are you going to do against Luis Castillo? What are you going to do against Garrett Crochet when it comes down to the playoffs? That's what's a little bit concerning to me, Anson.
Yeah, McKinstry had a few too many of those buzzins. Shout out Loom. Those are fantastic for relaxation Sunday. Not when you're playing a ball game, though. We do love our guys over at Loom, and we love those buzzing. As the big problem of today, Byron Buxton steps back up to plate. He's 3 for 4 today. He's got that personalized 25 blue and yellow bat, and he takes a strike right over the pipe there. I really thought he was going to take that one for a charge. He's got runners on second and third after the last line out, or short hopper to first was able to push the runners to second and third. Horn working with 2 outs. Sends a third ball to Buxton. You'd hate to see Buxton be able to reach base for free here, but at the same time, you don't want to give him something to hit.
Definitely don't want to, but I mean,
I think you probably dial up the walk here. Oh, no, he got him looking. Strike. Oh, no. Oh, that's strike 2. I thought he had the full count there. Full count now, 2 outs. Runners will be on the move from second and third base. Buxton, again, has been a big problem today. Sent one into the second deck early on in the game. 3-2 pitch on its way, and he'll foul this one off. 96-mile-per-hour fastball. This is a tense situation for Bailey Horn, who's been largely pretty good.
yeah, this would be nice to see Bailey Horn get out of this one just unscathed after, being able to coast pretty much so far throughout this outing, but being down 7 runs, you're not going to be seeing the best at-bats as Byron Buxton loads up for the 3-2.
Payoff pitch on its way. Runners on the move. This one outside. Oh, and he gave him the call. Tigers have been on the short end a couple times today, but they get the benefit of the doubt on an absolute ball well outside of the zone. Buxton isn't happy, but Bailey Horn gives up no runs as we head to the top of the 9th. Tigers down to their final 3 outs, trailing 8-1. And if you could, Nick, take us through the scoring summary of this one. I know it's not an enviable task. Things started out good for this Tigers team. They got down 0-1, but then, of course, they tied it up. But please have our Woodward Tigers insider walk us through the scoring in this one.
I mean, you saw Royce Lewis absolutely demolish a baseball to left field that got out in less than 2 seconds.
With like an 8-degree angle.
Yeah, exactly. And then you got to see another guy, another former top prospect of the Twins, Brooks Lee, take advantage of the Detroit Tigers' misplays on defense from Spencer Torkelson not catching that baseball. And the Detroit Tigers, he then was able to fall behind in that count. That's what was really Chris Paddock's problem, to allow Brooks Lee to tee off on that pitch, up and in, just put it, all the way up to right field. And this game was over at that point. The way that these Detroit
emotionally, the Tigers were done.
The Tigers were done, and that was in the 3rd inning.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to fight after that. These at-bats have been despicable. They don't look like they want to be here. I saw the Burn in this chat said, I think the boys hit the town hard last night. The boys were celebrating that they won 4 games or something. The way that they came out today, so flat-footed, it does give me a little bit of concern for the playoffs, to be quite frank. Anson, and maybe a little bit of their mental, capacity to continue on like a winning streak, going up against an inferior opponent.
Yeah, I'm not too worried because of the play that I've seen out of them this week. We came out of the All-Star break and we saw the majority of the best teams in the league falter as we see Erasmo Ramirez come out here and attempt to erase the Tigers from this beautiful Sunday. First pitch to Torkelson, who's 0 for 2 on the day. Inside, but a check swing sends it foul for strike one. But to me, I look at teams that peak for so long, and then you get into September and things start to falter, and you're just not ready for the playoffs. This Tiger team faltered right before the trade deadline, which forced them into some extra deals I think that they might not have done, which gives them just that much extra depth. But now they're finding their way through their slump. They have grit. They also have the confidence and knowledge of what they did last year, that they know that they're a team that can dial it up as we get into fall. So the fact that they came out, took the first 3 games of this series, I love it. Erasmo Ramirez, 1-1 pitch, is going to be low for ball 2. Torkelson looking a lot more patient thus far in this at-bat than we've seen him today.
I do like that positive outlook from you, Anson, because I think you do have really good points that you made there. I just am concerned with this team's pitching staff behind their ace and the best pitcher in baseball, Tarik Skubal, who has looked a little bit more pedestrian his last couple of starts, which is a little concerning because you're banking on 2 wins from Skubal in the playoffs. How are you going to get the other 2 to get you to the World Series in an ALCS? That's what concerns me a little bit. And then we talked about the at-bats today from this lineup. You know that Kerry Carpenter can hit righties. You know Riley Green's going to hit righties. Who is going to step up for this team like a Zach McKinstry, Javier Baez, like those guys were able to do early in the season? Have they run out of cards that they can really deal and aces to pull?
It's the mechanical card.
Yep.
That one bat in a not a great offensive lineup, but a tricky one. One that can give a lot of different teams a lot of different problems, especially if they're patient and confident. But a guy like that, you put him at hitting 6, hitting 5, changes the outlook of this team and what pitchers need to get ready for. The scouting report is out on him, but none of them have seen him yet. So I think McGonigal coming up on that 40-man roster as we get into the fall could be the exactly what they need.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think they need some sort of spark, and they kind of did it last year when they called up Jackson Jobe. Nobody expected it. So before everybody says, wow, this is a pipe dream, it's not going to happen, he's the best prospect in baseball. I mean, he's ranked number 2 behind Connor Griffin, but like I said, I would have him as the number 1 prospect in baseball. His bat-to-ball skills are elite, Anson. You're talking about the best in the minor league system, and he has better numbers across every single level than Riley Green did.
McGonigal,
then Keishel,
Wilson. Those 3 guys have some of the best contact numbers through the minor leagues in this decade, in fact.
Yep.
So I'm very excited to see him come up as we are here in the top of the ninth here. Erasmo was able to get Torkelson out swinging on, and then Jumai Jones. A lot of Tigers getting a break here at the end of the game. He pops out. Now Wenceel Perez, the final out on this beautiful Woodward Dream Cruise Sunday from Target Field in Minnesota. Minnesota looking to get 1 game out of this 4-game set as he pops up. And this one, oh wait, I'm a little ahead. Sorry, Jermaine Jones did pop up there.
Anakin in the chat said, hey, Nick, I'll be at the game this coming Friday. Maybe I'll see you. Anakin, if you do, say what up. Always love chatting with any of our listeners. And make sure you guys smash that like button. We support you all. I know this was a crazy game with the blowout that nobody saw coming. Tigers were a minus 130 favorite today, and they just truly did not play like that.
Yeah. Wenceel Perez, that final out. Twins up 8-1. First pitch inside. Could have been a called strike, but he gets the benefit of ball 1.
Wenceel had a good at-bat early, and just like everybody else in this lineup, faltered late after that 6-run lead.
Absolutely. 1 for 3 on the day. Erasmo blows that cutter by him. 1-1 on the swinging strike.
1-2 count.
Well, I guess the nice thing, the glass half full thing, we don't have to cover the bottom of the ninth.
That is a little glass half full. I'm with you, Anson. I mean, there's not a possible way that they're putting up 7 runs here. 2 strikes
With one out,
Perez.
with one out, that would be a hell of a rally, my friend.
I think we're at 2 now, or am I mistaken?
1-2 is the count. Erasmo working against the pitch clock here as we get a shot of the broadcasting booth. I think that might have been Chris Koski, the guy that was honored and inducted into the Minnesota Twins Hall of Fame. Why your game was delayed today. 1-2 pitch on its way. Seal stays alive following this one back. To a lucky fan from St. Paul.
This is a tough spot right now for the Tigers. This was an ugly, ugly, ugly game, Anson.
Yeah, it was ugly, not just in the fact that the bats weren't working. And there's a shot up the middle, but the shift was on, and that is it in Minnesota. Tigers lose 8-1. And, let's continue the conversation we were just on. The bats didn't really have it going. They weren't patient. They started getting into the pitch counts through the first 3 innings. But the moment Torkelson didn't make that play on that foul ball, which would have ended the inning, and then turns into a grand slam home run, it seemed like this Tigers team as a whole just checked out.
Completely checked out. And you talk about during that play, I have seen him fail to go over his right shoulder multiple times when running back. He does not look comfortable doing it. He needs to work on this. Spencer Torkelson isn't a non-athletic guy. Like, he has some athleticism within him. He needs to get better reads on those baseballs, and he needs to make those plays. We've seen it time and time again. He does not read the ball well coming off of the bat, going over his shoulder. It was a bad read, and he slowed up at the end of it.
Yeah, the read wasn't great, but it was enough to get there. He just showed no sense of urgency. Like, is this guy ever going to lay out for a ball?
I would have liked to see it. I mean, that time right there. But then again, it is August still. But, I mean, you want to see more heart out of your first baseman that's going to be playing every single day. You want to see it when it comes down closer and closer to the playoffs. I just thought this team ran out of juice today, and it really stinks because it's a team in Minnesota who has completely given up, who took it to you at home. I would have liked to see us capitalize and really get the sweep today. This team was unable to do so, and Chris Paddock was having a field day as well. He's not out of this for just giving up homer after homer after homer. 3 home runs given up today by the Tigers starting pitcher, who they traded a top 20 prospect for in Jimenez, the catcher, who was a switch hitting catcher who's pretty damn good.
Yeah. Paddock, 5.2 today is all that he got. 9 hits, 8 runs, 4 Ks, 3 walks. No help from his defense whatsoever. Buxton was the star today. Was 3 for 5, set the table early, had that early home run. Trevor Larnach 1 for 3, Keisha 1 for 4. Cody Clemens, former Tiger, 0 for 4. Ryan Jeffers 1 for 4. Wallner 0 for 3. Royce Lewis with that home run. He was 1 for 2. Also drew 2 walks on the day. Brooks Lee with the clincher. They were obviously up by 2 runs at that point, but when you put on 4 with 1 swing in the bat, you kind of break the Tigers' back. He was 3 for 1 with 4 RBIs, also reached base on a walk, and James Outman 1 for 4. And for the Tigers, Hatch was good. He went through 5 innings. He cruised to the tune of 3 hits and 1 earned run. Didn't do a lot of work in terms of Ks, just had 4. Did give up quite a few walks, 3 walks in 5 innings, but the Tigers couldn't capitalize it. They couldn't get the wood on the ball today. Colt Keith, 1 for 3. Ibanez in his stead, 0 for 1. Carpenter, 1 for 4. Torkelson, 0 for 3. Green 0 for 2, Jones 0 for 1, Baez 0 for 3, McKinstry 0 for 2, Sweeney 0 for 3, Jake Rogers 0 for 3. Is that it? 3 hits?
3 hits, Anson.
Man, Keith Carpenter and Wenzel Perez, the only guys to reach the base via the wood. Obviously, a couple other guys got on with walks, but this is just a real disappointment for Tiger fans after you see this team start to surge this week. Absolutely go out and handle the Twins with ease in game 1, 2, and 3, and just lay an absolute egg here. You wonder, do they carry this loser mentality from this game over to tomorrow when they come back home to face the Astros?
I think A.J. Hinch specifically always gets up going against the Astros, so I'm not too concerned that they will be a lot more mentally sharp in tomorrow's game. I think the effort is going to be there a lot more, but the personnel who you're throwing on the mound is a guy like Jack Flaherty, who has been struggling his last 2 starts with the Detroit Tigers, as he has pitched in 4.1 innings and given up 5 earned runs his last time out.
Yikes.
And you know the time before that? 4.2 innings and 5 earned runs. Jack Flaherty is going to need to dial it in against a playoff preview in the Houston Astros. I truly believe it. You're 3 games up on the Stros right now, I believe it, after today's game. And you need to see the Detroit Tigers remain at one of those top 2 teams in the American League. I think this is going to be a really good test for the Detroit Tigers. And honestly, I think it's going to be a good test for the fans to see if they can show up early in this week to create a playoff atmosphere at Comerica Park. I think that'll be big to give a guy like Jack Flaherty some confidence on a Monday.
Well, while you're talking about Jack Flaherty, I want to back up and continue to talk about Chris Paddock. I don't think that the sentence is in yet. I don't think that who this guy is in stone right now, because you look at his first outing against the Diamondbacks, 6 innings, 1 earned run on 3 hits. Looked really good. Looked like we got a steal. Then he goes and he plays his old team, the Twins. Gets battered around, 4 earned runs in 4 innings. Then he goes to Chicago. Obviously, it's the White Sox, so I can't get too excited about that. But he handled the White Sox with no issues. 1 earned run on 3 hits, 5.2 innings. So in 2 outings, you got 11.2 innings, only 6 hits, and only 1 run. Now, goes back against his old mates again and gets absolutely thrown around to the tune of 8 earned runs. My thing is, as Tigers fans, I don't think that we should just write this guy off yet. He went against his old team 2 times, a team that's very, very comfortable and very, very familiar with what he has in his arsenal and what he's going to offer up over the plate. So I think that we need to have a little bit more patience and see what this guy can do and how he can rebound against a team not named the Twins. Now, in terms of Troy Melton, in terms of Casey Mize, in terms of Jack Flaherty, you're right. We don't have a true number 2 yet. Can you ask a young guy like Melton to go out there in a playoff series and just handle 4 innings and then bring a guy like Paddock or Charlie Morton in to handle a few more?
I like that idea. I don't want to see Chris Paddock in the playoffs. I'm going to tell you straight up, Anson. Yes, it's going up against his old team. Yes, he has struggled against his old team. His old team is absolutely cheeks. They're buns. This is a very bad baseball team that
they got 2 good guys
that he has now got demolished by in back-to-back outings against the Minnesota Twins. This team is not good. This team sold. This is not the Mariners they're going up against. This is not the Astros they're going up against. I don't have much faith in an Arizona team that he did well against and a White Sox team that he did well against. I don't. I think the Minnesota Twins are so damn bad and depleted, and the fact that he was not able to bounce back today really lowers my confidence in this guy moving forward. I thought this was a great spot to bounce back, show A.J. Hinch what you are made of after struggling your first start against the Twins, and he wasn't able to do so today. But I do like your idea about Melton going 4 in the playoffs in Game 2, and then maybe even bringing in a Gibson Long possibly, or a Herder if we can get him back up, get him dialed in. because if we can get into the 7th and 8th with Will Vest and Kyle Finnegan, I'm feeling extremely confident in those two, but getting there is going to be the problem.
Well, so a lot of Tiger fans are still frustrated with the lack of big-time moves made at the deadline this year. We saw a lot of guys that kind of has-beens or almost were's. I think Kyle Finnegan does really look like a great acquisition for us. But I think, we know who our team is right now, but we don't know who our 40-man team is. And by not moving to Kevin McGonigal, which I don't think ever was going to happen, I love your take. In fact, I echoed it last weekend. I do believe that Kevin McGonigal will be on the playoff roster for your Detroit Tigers. So you're adding a guy. My question for you is there any other way that you see this team adding a player either through free agency or through the minors that could be an impact for them as they get to the playoffs?
I saw it in the chat, and it's kind of funny because it's a running joke at this point, but you paid $15 million for starting pitcher Alex Cobb, who is currently with AAA Toledo, and he's pitching innings.
He's in a rehab assignment.
And he does not look like he's limping off of the mound every single play. That's
fantastic.
Which is fantastic to hear. You went up against Alex Cobb in the Guardians last year, but this guy has not pitched big-time innings. He is injury-prone. I need to see it to believe it with Alex Cobb, but that is a guy that you could potentially add to be one of those guys that you talk about that is maybe possibly able to eat 2 innings, 3 innings in the postseason. Do I have faith in him doing that? No, I don't. I haven't seen it yet, but this team put out $15 million. The same amount of money they paid Gleyber Torres is the amount of money they paid Alex Cobb. They were expecting him to be a part. And yeah, we haven't gotten him so far. But if he's able to come up in the playoffs, he'll be every single penny worth of that $15 million if he's able to do that.
Yeah, no doubt. If we get a couple starts or a start in each series that we make it to from him, where he's quality, that would be fantastic. What about the minors? We obviously talked about McGonigal. I don't think that we'd see Max Clark this year, but is there anybody else that you could see being called up that would actually contribute and make a difference for this team on the playoff roster?
I think you saw a guy that just got called up from AA to AAA. He plays third base, second base, and his name is Max Anderson. He is a righty bat. He has been dominating in AA so far before the call up to AAA. He's a little bit on the older side of a prospect, but he put everything together this season. Max Anderson, the Tigers didn't want to move off of him at the trade deadline. And when Scott Harris talked about the trade deadline, he talked about he believes that players in this organization are going to come up by the end of the season to help this team win games. I think he was specifically talking about a guy like Max Anderson, who is up in AAA, who has gotten off to a hot start within AAA with the Toledo Mud Hens. And I think that's a guy that you can look at and say, okay, he's a bat that could potentially help us out. Do I think Max Anderson's going to be a star? No, I don't. Do I think he can be a consistent maybe 260 hitter? I do. Okay. Which, at this point, you take it for this Detroit Tigers team. I mean, the way they played today, they didn't look like they wanted to be out there at all, Anson.
Yeah, I don't really mind an older prospect coming up at the end of the season. Somebody that the scouting report might be on, but these major leaguers haven't seen him yet. And, that first month, guys that aren't very good can come up and look very good for that first month. So maybe we can get something out of him there as we head into September and October. But, this loss hurt, and it was super ugly, and, it's a little disenfranchising. But it's on the heels of a 4-game run. This is a team that was basically trading wins and losses for a month. Now they've gotten a little bit of momentum. This one set him back. I love your take on the Astros A.J. Hinch rivalry because clearly he gets up for those games. I think that this series to start next week is going to tell us so much about our Detroit Tigers. Those next 2 series after that, the Athletics and the Royals, Tigers should go out and handle business and take at the very least 4 out of those 6 games. I would expect 4, maybe 5. But this Astros series is going to show us, it's going to give us a taste of what playoff baseball is going to look like this fall. And if they can go out and pitch well, stay in games. I don't need them to sweep the series. I don't even need them to win the series. I can't see a game like this.
I'm with you. I mean, to be honest, winning the series would be
fantastic.
Would give
they
me a
have
lot
to
of
win
confidence.
a game, though. They have to win one game. They can't get swept at home. But my thing is they have to look competitive, like they're in a playoff 3-game series with them, not necessarily winning it, but competing, not showing up and absolutely embarrassing themselves like they did today.
Yeah, I'm not going to be, crashing out by any means if this team doesn't win the series, but I think confidence moving forward to go up against two of the best pitchers in the American League to win this series will give you a lot of confidence in my book, a lot of cards to do that in the playoffs moving forward, because you are going to face the best of the best when it comes down to the pitchers. Everybody knows that. Is this Detroit Tigers lineup going to be able to pull through against an elite right-hander that throws upper 90s, can hit 100 in Hunter Brown, and a very crafty lefty in Framber Valdez? Are they going to be able to pull through? Because both of those guys are really damn dominant in terms of pitching. So if the Tigers can win this series against the Astros at home after just getting embarrassed by one of the biggest sellers at the deadline in the Minnesota Twins, it's going to put a lot of confidence in my book for them moving forward.
Yeah, that's the thing for me is, how gritty is this team? Can they come back home after an embarrassing defeat on the road and just dial it up for one of the best teams in baseball? And if they can do that, which I suspect they will do, I'm not worried about this team. I was worried to start this week. The run that they put on this week, watching the Guardians come back down to earth, if they can emotionally come out and just pretend like yesterday didn't happen at all, then we're looking at the same team we saw go into the playoffs and we saw go in and beat the Astros in the first series. This team has a mental makeup that we didn't see today, but that I have a sneaking suspicion will show its pretty face come fall, because I just believe this team has grit. I think they've played over their head and outkicked their coverage all season. A lot of that has to do with A.J. Hinch, but a lot of it has to do with the personal belief that each player on this team has in the Tigers as a whole.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a big series moving forward, because early in the season, this Detroit Tigers team would bounce back from a loss like this without a doubt. Later in the season, when the team has gone through the slumps, you haven't seen them bounce back like they should have, like they have early in the season. So which team are you going to get, Anson? That's what I want to see tomorrow. Which Tiger team are you going to get? The one at the start when they were rolling, or the one that was slumping hardcore and looked like a pretender at the end of the day? So tomorrow's a big day for the Detroit Tigers to get back on track. Let's see if we get good Jack Flaherty against a good Astros lineup.
Yeah, and not just tomorrow, that whole series.
Yep. School Tuesday.
If they come out and know that they've got their horse in the middle of those 3 games that they can rally around, come out and compete tomorrow, that to me, if they can compete tomorrow, even if they lose by a run, they know they got torque coming up, should be the equalizer to be able to go into that rubber match game 3, which this Tigers team in big moments, basically since about late July last year, have shown that they have no problem rising to that occasion.
I'm looking forward to this matchup a lot, Anson. I think you've made some great points throughout. I think we tried to make as many positive signs as we could, but we got to just shoot it like it is. And Tigers really didn't show up today, but I am looking forward that they can get back on the horse tomorrow night against the Houston Astros, the team right below them in the American League standings, to try to prove it not just to the whole entire American League, but prove it to themselves that they are a contender and not a pretender.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at tomorrow's game. Starts at 6:40. Spencer Spaghetti Arrighetti will be taking on Jack Flaherty. Arrighetti, second year, I want to say, pretty good young pitcher, but Jack is going to have to come up big in that game. You know that Houston, they've got it out for us, I think, since we embarrassed them in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, they're going to come out fighting. There's no other way to put it, but just like today, you got the ERA north of 5 for the Twins starter. You think the Tigers are going to tee off. Arrietti's got a 6.38 ERA. You think that the Tigers are going to be able to tee off on this guy, but just because it's on paper doesn't mean it's going to play out that way in the game. The Tigers need to play way cleaner baseball. It all comes back down to Javier Baez double play into Trey Sweeney getting a green light on 3-0 as your 8-hitter with a 570 OPS. Getting that green light blows my mind. They cannot be playing that kind of baseball. And the way, Boston, the way the Twins were able to manhandle them today, you cannot allow that to happen to a team like going up against the Houston Astros.
Really only about 2 good bats in that entire lineup. Obviously, Byron Buxton, and then Keishel has been hitting to the tune of about 350 on the season. But it was Brooks Lee that cost you the game today. It was Spencer Torkelson that allowed him that extra at-bat. Or not even at-bat, but those extra pitches. He should have been out. That inning should have been done. And we'd be looking at least a very different energy in this game. Maybe similar results. Definitely not the same amount of runs, though.
How much confidence would it give you if Jack Flaherty came out 6 strong, less than 2 earned runs, Tigers get back on track? Would you have faith then for Jack to be the number 2 starter, or do you just need to see it more consistently throughout?
Nick, Jack's wearing a World Series ring, okay? This is the regular season. When we get to the playoffs, Jack Flaherty will be our number 2. That's what he's paid to be. He has the experience to be. And he's wearing a World Series ring. You go out there and you win or lose with that guy as your number 2.
He don't look too sharp in the World Series that he pitched in. He's lucky he had Shohei, Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Max Muncy, everybody ready to roll. This Tigers lineup isn't that Dodgers team, so that does concern me because he did get lit up a little bit by those New York Yankees. They are paying him for it. I think if he continues to pitching the way he has, he's not going to be pitching in that number 2 spot because the ERA is climbing towards 5. And I think if you're a serious team and you're serious about winning, you're not putting that guy out to start game 2.
Yeah, did Casey Mize pitch for us in the playoffs last year?
He did not.
Okay, I didn't think so. So he has no experience in the playoffs. He has been pitching better than Flaherty. I believe that A.J. Hinch in game 2 of the first round, wild card playoffs, you will see Flaherty. I mean, based on the rotation and where we end up, it could be anybody. But that number 2, I believe, pass or fail, will be him. If he fails, then I think that you might be right and we might see some changes. But if he gets back to that playoff realm, I guess, I believe that AJ will probably dial up the experience. But if he falters early, then yeah, I would definitely say that he'll be pushed back down to that 3 or 4, and you might just see some real pitching chaos. Obviously, we entered the playoffs last year with only 1 starting pitcher. So at this point, I feel like we have 3 or 4. I may not have confidence in any, high-level confidence at least, in any past Scooble, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting. We still got a good month plus of baseball for one of these guys to show that they should be the number 2.
Feel like a guy that's been there before, won 2 World Series, Charlie Morton, could even slide in if he continues pitching well.
I thought I was going to bring that up and get shot down for it. I'm a big believer in Charlie Morton on this team.
And so is A.J. Hinch. That's why they went out and got him. So that's another guy to key in on. But I'm super stoked to see Jack Flaherty with a really big matchup tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully get some nice, great interviews for you guys next time for sure that we are on Woodward Tigers Live.
Absolutely.
Once again, hit me up on Twitter if you guys have any specific questions that you want at Nick Kohloff. Send them my way, and I will try to do my best to be a man of the people and let you guys also get some questions in as well.
Let's catch everybody up on some scores from around the league. The Cubs did beat the Pirates in Chicago. Of course, we know the result in Minnesota. Kansas City held serve at home against the White Sox 6-2. Houston got blanked at home. 12 runs for the Orioles. They beat up on the Astros. Milwaukee does lose in extra innings to the Reds. Game 15 in a row was not to be. Of course, the Guardians lost at home 5-4 to the Braves. Big game for them to dump at the other end of the Detroit Tigers losing today. So the Tigers don't lose any of their 8.5 game lead. Toronto, best team in the AL, as we mentioned, lost to Texas 4-10. Miami did beat Boston 5-3. We mentioned the Phillies over the Nats 11-9. Dodgers are up on the Padres 4-1 in the bottom of the fourth. Athletics and Angels tied 3-3 in the top of the fifth. No score out in San Francisco as the Giants take on the Rays. And Colorado up 5-4 in the bottom of the seventh at home versus Arizona. They've got runners on the corners with 2 outs. And that Yankees game from St. Louis, Yankees up 7-4 with a runner on second, 2 outs, top of the ninth. They just brought him in. It's 8-4 now. The Yankees making a run. I do want to kind of chit-chat quickly about the playoffs and that whole playoff picture, the wild card picture right now, kind of get your take on teams that you think are in versus teams that you think are out, and maybe a black, or a dark horse, somebody that you think isn't being talked about enough that could slide in there. I'm trying to find this here.
I don't have too much faith in the Guardians. I'll say that straight up. I don't think the Guardians are going to be in the playoffs. I do not think that anything that they're doing is sustainable. When it comes down to serious threats in the American League, you got to start at the top with the Toronto Blue Jays and the Seattle Mariners. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is an absolute threat day in, day out. His best is better than 99% of baseball's best, besides maybe Tarek Skubal.
And he's got his Robin and Bo Bichette, too.
Exactly. They finally got the Robin and Bo Bichette, who's been dominant this season in a big comeback spot right before he hits free agency. He's due up for a big contract after this comeback season. And the way that the Blue Jays were able to take it to you at home concerns me, along with the Seattle Mariners, who did the same exact thing to this Detroit Tigers team and broke them a little bit when they came in to Comerica and swept them before the All-Star weekend. So those two teams specifically are concerning to me. You got beat by the Mariners and you got swept before they upgraded with a Naylor and with a Suarez. So that one to me is going to be the toughest team to beat in the American League. It's the Seattle Mariners, and then right below that I peg the Blue Jays. But if we get the Yankees, I like our odds.
Okay. Well, it seems like we are on a crash course with the Mariners right now. They do only trail the Astros by 1 game. Tigers could do themselves a big favor by sweeping this series and putting them out of first place out in the West.
True for the Astros big time. Yeah, it's a good fact there. I think the biggest thing for the Tigers is all just to stay within themselves, get a top 2 spot in the American League, and avoid the wild card series. You saw what happened last year when the Tigers went into Houston and they were able to beat them. You want to avoid the wild card series at all costs. Give Skubal the rest. Make sure he's ready for day 1, game 4, whatever that may be. And that's the biggest thing to me. You got to be able to keep one of the top 2 spots in the American League. Tigers got to find a way to bounce back after this big loss today against the Houston Astros tomorrow night.
All right, so Blue Jays, you like to win the East. We all like the Tigers to hold on in the Central. Seems like the West is up for grabs between the Mariners and Astros. Who are your final 2 teams? Are they going to the American League East yet again?
I believe Boston's going to get in. I do. And
right now the Yankees are that 6th squad.
I would love to see the Yankees miss the playoffs. So I'm a little biased.
The whole country would.
The Yankees.
So who would knock them out? Because right now we'd be looking at the Guardians. We'd be looking at.
Yeah, I think they will get in.
I
think they will because there's just nobody that I think is a serious threat behind them. And at this point, like the Yankees, Red Sox, Jays will all get in. Mariners, Tigers, and of course the Astros.
So no Cleveland Guardians. To me, it seems like they might have put out everything they had over the last month to try and cut that lead down from 10 to 5 or from 15 to 5. Now it's starting to balloon back up to 8.5. It seems like within 1 week, the Guardians could be erased from the playoff equation. But if they were to recapture the heat that we saw from them up until this week, they could be trouble. But yeah, MLB loves themselves the American League East. They love themselves the Yankees. They love themselves the Red Sox. I mean, we saw the hammer drop on Michigan. It's the same type of deal. The money is with those two franchises. Everyone wants to see the Red Sox and the Yankees playing postseason baseball. So to not see one of those two teams in there, to me, it just doesn't make financial sense for the MLB. Of course, they're the ones playing the games, but I would imagine those two guys get in. I felt that the Guardians were playing over their head for the last month. I do believe that the Texas Rangers are my wild card.
Okay.
They've got. Well, I don't know if they're going to make it in. I wanted that wild card, that dark horse.
Oh, gotcha.
And to me, they're a team that's been there. They won a World Series just a couple of seasons ago, and they have the understanding of what it takes to make that end season run to get into the postseason. And then once they're there, I'm not making any predictions, but if there was a team that I would say could be messing with the Yankees right now, I kind of like the Rangers over the Guardians to be doing that.
I like that take a lot. I mean, I'm a big Wyatt Langford stan. I think you know that by now. Yeah, the Rangers definitely are a threat. They have the World Series under their belt with Corey Seager, with an Adolis Garcia, with a Marcus Semien. They've been there before. They've done it. They have the pitching with Eovaldi, DeGrom, some of those guys like up top that give you real pause if you went up in a 3-game series with them.
I don't want to see DeGrom.
I don't want to see Eovaldi.
Yeah.
I don't want to see the Rangers. So
I'm more afraid of DeGrom than Eovaldi. But
oh, for sure. But, yeah, I mean, both of them. I think they're pretty damn good pitchers.
Eovaldi was so good to start this season, man.
Yeah, for real, incredible. Late snag for those fantasy.
Yeah, he was on our waiver wire, man. We have the
know.
deepest league, 360 roster spot. He was still sitting there.
I'm about to drop my 5th straight and miss the postseason, Anson. I am not happy about it.
Well, shout out to my cousin and his friends in the league. A guy who's completely out of it, had $4 left, only one start against us this weekend. I wake up and he spent 3 of his last $4 to pull up bullcrap pitching to try and beat us today. We've been in first most of the season. Harkens back to a time when my cousin enlisted his friends to chase us down at the end of a season as well. We got 2 more scoring periods. I think we will fall out of first after today, but we got some time. But yeah, we're down to the nitty gritty. If you want to let us know how your fantasy team or your dynasty team is doing in the chat here, we got about 5-10 more minutes before we wrap things up. There's not a whole lot that's fun about today, but this team is fun. You have a lot of overachievers. You have the best pitcher in baseball. You've got some young guys on this roster that you're not quite sure where their ceiling sits, and you have the best farm system in the majors. I'm going to say it. We do. And this team's super duper young. So as frustrating and as nail-biting as this small period since the All-Star game has been for Detroit Tigers fans, man, our prospects and future are bright here in Detroit.
Yeah, we've hit on Kevin McGonigal a lot today, but one of the guy right behind him, which is number 9 in the whole entire MLB in the system, is a guy like Max Clark, the center fielder. He's absolutely electric. He has one of the best arms in the minor leagues at gunning out runners, rounding the bases. You saw it on display when he backpicked a guy in the Futures game trying to snag second. He has elite speed. He can steal bases. He's a great guy to get on base and score runs. When we talk about this Tiger team going first to third, which I wish they did early in this game when Riley Green wasn't able to get to third, Max Clark is a guy that's going to go first to third every single time. He is never not going to take that extra base. He puts so much pressure on opposing teams' pitchers. Max Clark is a guy to watch out for soon. I would honestly, if him and McGonigal keep hitting the way that they are, I would like to see him called up to AAA by the end of August. But I don't know if the Tigers will rush them. Do I think that they could handle it? Absolutely. But I don't know. This Tiger team, they do like to slow play their prospects, especially a guy like Scott Harris. I was shocked last year when Jackson Jobe came up. So it does give me a little bit of hope for a guy like Kevin McGonigal, who has just been annihilating every single pitching that he's faced in the minor leagues.
Well, and I know a lot of Tigers fans have been upset with ownership, with Scott Harris for their lack of big moves. And I want to rewind things a little bit to this offseason before this season that we're in now. $15 million to Glaber, $15 million to Alex Cobb, $25 million to Flaherty, and $25 million nearly to Alex Bregman. Okay, so that $25 million will be spent this offseason. Cobb, 1-year deal, correct?
1 year, $15 million.
Okay. Glaber, 1-year deal, correct?
Yep.
And Flaherty, multi-year, correct? Okay.
Yep.
So you got Flaherty in the mix, but now you're looking at $75 million that is freed up for this team. And I have said over and over again, I feel like the Pistons and the Lions and the Tigers and the Red Wings, the start of this decade, they all had a little secret clandestine meeting, and they said, we're not going to do it like everybody else says you're supposed to do it. And just throwing money out and trading all your young guys, to all your picks to try and land that guy for 1 year to capitalize on your window. They said, let's make our window 10, 15 or more years. And the fact is very much like you saw Troy Weaver not giving long-term contracts to guys, very much like you've seen the Detroit Lions never give more than a 3-year deal to anybody not named Jared Goff or drafted by them. This team brought in some guys that helped them this year, helped them be the best team in the Central Division, and for a large portion of the year be the best team in baseball. Those contracts will go out to new players next year, and they won't be 1-year deals. They will be to pieces that they have the confidence that they now have this team, and they will fill those holes that they can get they have a much better idea of what the holes are on this team than they did last year. Even after winning a playoff series, they didn't know exactly what pieces, what young guys were going to be able to contribute. And so that's why they brought in all of these veterans. That money will be spent. Those kids from the minors will come up. The future for this Tigers team, they're going to be in the playoffs and they'll make a run. But going forward, it just gets better and better, at least in my humble opinion.
They better spend some money here, Anson. They truly better. I
think that they're gonna.
I was so salty that they did not land Alex Bregman. I
think a lot of people were.
They put in a 6-year, $171.5 million offer for a total of $28.5 million per year. You know what? It was $11.5 million short of the Boston Red Sox per year. That's what it was. That's a fact. Were they willing to do this deal? Yes. But also, did they lowball him? Yes, they did.
But they put out $83 million, or at least they attempted to. They didn't buy out Javi. You know, between those four guys, Glaber, Cobb, Flaherty, and Bregman, they offered out $83 million plus.
Yeah, I think that part's big, but it shoulda, woulda, coulda in a sense of if Alex Bregman was on this team in a
certainly.
929 OPS, about a 4 WAR in 78 games, this guy's basically playing like the best third baseman in baseball right now. If he was on this Detroit Tigers team, you're not just talking about winning the American League. You're legitimately talking about winning the World Series, and that's what was concerning to me.
Yeah. No.
And I think that it hurts not landing him. But will Chris Ilitch pull out the checkbook?
I think so. So my question is the the winter of 2026, Alex Bregman in free agency, when they go out and throw a big contract at him, he's going to see 2-time playoff Tigers, not a team that, pulled out or stole Joe Boo's rum and somehow snuck into the playoffs with a less than 1% chance. That's a team that I don't think a lot of free agents believed in. And I don't know if I looked at their roster on paper to start the season. I didn't think they were going to do this. But you see what they have in the minors. You see that they have one of the best managers in baseball. And I think that this year's Bregman will be a lot more open to coming to the great city of Detroit, unlike the free agents of this last offseason, because nobody knew who this Tigers team was coming off of that run last year.
Yeah, that's a great point, and I'm really looking forward to see what they can do. Obviously, they think McGonigal and Clark are going to be future stars to go along with a Riley Green, with a Spencer Torkelson, with Tarek Skubal in your core. I think this team needs to go out and hit on a pitcher in free agency. I think that would be my number one priority. Obviously, I would love to see Alex Bregman with the Tigers if he opts out of Boston and turns down that $40 million a year because he can opt out. That's another reason why he went there. But, some other big names are Pete Alonso, Cody Bellinger, if this list is correct. I just had it up, and now
Alonso would be fun at first base.
Oh my God, would he ever? Kyle Tucker hits free agency.
Stop.
That's a pipe dream for sure.
Oh, man.
But a guy like Valdez would be a big addition here to add to this rotation. A guy like Freddie Peralta, Ranger Suarez.
I love me some
would
Freddie
be
P.
big. Chris Sale
Suarez
has
has
an
been
$18
great.
million club option, so he's going to be sticking around for sure. They're going to pick that up.
Yeah,
Would you take a swing on a guy like actually, it's a club option for $20 million. I was going to say Luis Robert Jr., but even a guy like
Bob.
Bo Bichette, or do you think they avoid that shortstop position because of McGonigal and Bryce Rayner in the system?
I think that they avoid spending money big on the shortstop. I like Lou Bob as a player, but we have an epidemic of swing and miss baseball with our offense, and that is what Lou Bob is. He's go big or get K'd. And I'm not sure that that's the type of guy. I want the OPS guys here. I want the on-base men. And, you know, he's not quite that guy. To me, I'm looking in the chat here, chilling under with a bunch of nice drops here. He thinks that they're going to win 8-4 tomorrow. Torres and Dingler in the lineup tomorrow. I think that by the fact that they weren't in there today, you almost felt a mild concession from AJ in this game today. But at the same point, I'd rather lose this game and win 2 or 3 against the Astros. So if he's keeping those guys fresh for that today, I don't mind it. Final point from Chillin' Under here. If we avoided signing Cobb, we would have Bregman.
It hurts.
And that's a take I haven't heard before. That take hurts because it's right.
Does. And then Jackson Joe goes down with an injury. Your pitching takes a big hit, and you don't have one of the best third basemen in all of baseball that A.J. Hinch wanted on this team. Yep. He knew that guy, that Alex Bregman, is not just playing, but in the clubhouse as well. He is everything that you want in a baseball player. And I know fans hate Alex Bregman because he didn't choose us. You would turn down the offer for $11.5 million like the Boston Red Sox pulled out. I mean, that's just a fact. So hopefully he can get to free agency and they get another shot at him. But the Tigers are going to need some upgrades, and we hit on it a lot today. We believe it's Kevin McGonigal. Want to see him continue to rake throughout the minor leagues in the upcoming weeks to really put the pressure on Scott Harris to not allow him to not be on this roster come playoff time.
No doubt about it. And those are some great takes from our Woodward Tiger insider, Nick Kohloff. He will be down at Comerica Park next Sunday when we return for our next Woodward Tigers live stream. Of course, tomorrow, wake up, get your coffee, start your day with Sean Baligan in the mornings with Maz. Got a fun, interactive show dialed up for you guys. Then stick with us throughout the day. Big D Energy, Neil Rule, and the clan there. They'll be going from 10 to 12. Then from 2 to 4, you've got, Michigan legend, Braylon Edwards, the Braylon Edwards Show with Matt Shepard. And, of course, our guys, the heavyweights, will be finishing up from 5 to 7. Make sure that you do join us on Saturday as we cover the final Lions preseason game. It is preseason week 3 for the NFL, but it is game 4 for us as we played that Hall of Fame game. So 2 weeks from this weekend, we will be back doing Tigers live stream broadcast both Saturday and Sunday. That will be the final double weekend of the Woodward Tigers live stream broadcast for the season as we head to the playoffs. But stick with us 7 days a week. You know the weekly programming during the weekdays, and we've got it dialed up for you on the weekends. Appreciate all of you guys joining us. We appreciate the super chats. If you could, before we get out of here, smash that like button for us. But a huge thank you to you. A huge thank you to Haley holding it down over in the booth there. And, of course, I got to hand it over to our Tigers insider to give us one final thought before we get out of here.
Yeah, the Detroit Tigers are going to be just fine. But speaking of that loaded lineup, if you guys want to see more of Haley Scott, shout out for T-Dane today. Make sure you check her out on Tuesday nights for the college football show with Justin Satawa and Ryan. They do a great job. And, I mean, college football's coming. Lions are coming. Nobody's doing it better than Woodward Sports. So, guys, make sure you check that out Tuesday nights for the live stream if you want to see more.
And I apologize for omitting that because I also forgot that Fantasy Jerks starts Wednesday night here at Woodward Sports. We've got some surprises for you on that. Wednesday night, I believe 7:30. We'll get the details out to you. But if you need your fantasy fix with fantasy football right over the horizon, like I said, stick with us all week long. Woodward Sports, we appreciate you. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.